With concerns about air quality looming, we nevertheless welcome you to Laramie, Wyoming, an evening of college football at 7,220 feet, presented on CBS Sports Network by Geico. It's the Broncos versus the Cowboys. With Jay Feely, I'm Carter Blackburn. John Schriffen on the sideline. He has much more on the air quality situation. But for now, let's focus on this football game because, Jay, this will certainly factor into the Mountain West Conference Championship scenario and almost certainly factor in to the New Year's Six scenario.
Yeah, both these teams had very difficult last games. They have a lot to prove. They have questions on both sides of the ball. But this game, the last 2 years, has decided the Mountain Division. Expect the same this year.
And Brett Rippon has been a part of those games as well. Our CDWI vision on the veteran quarterback for the Broncos.
One of the best quarterbacks in the country. A treat to watch him. If you give him a clean pocket, he will pick you apart. Excellent accuracy, throws his receivers open, and he's got touch down the field, throws a catchable ball. The thing that separates him is his ability to read defenses. Most college quarterbacks don't go through their second read. Here he is going to his third read, and then a perfect ball into the end zone where only his receiver can catch it, and a gorgeous pass and a beautiful throw and catch.
And so the challenge of stopping the Broncos, in large part, Andrew Wingard.
Well, I mean, he's got almost 400 tackles, 9 interceptions. They bring him up on the line of scrimmage and drop him back. He has to confuse Brett Rippon and make him make mistakes, something that Rippon has not done this year.
So for Craig Bohl, now the head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys, building this program after he built North Dakota State into a 3-time national champion. Both Craig Bohl and Brian Harsin have been part of these discussions about the air quality, kickoff, and monitoring the situation. And monitoring the situation for the last couple hours has been John Schriffen.
Well, Carter, I can tell you just a few hours before kickoff, the air quality here has become significantly worse. Here's what's happening. About 125 miles away from us near the border of Colorado and Wyoming, there are multiple forest fires burning right now. This morning, the wind shifted and is blowing that smoke directly into the stadium. Now, the staff here in Wyoming is doing a great job monitoring the situation. I'm being told right now the level is safe to play, but if the air quality gets worse, they will and can stop this game at any point. I spoke to both head coaches. They say the big concern is for player safety, but they do want to play this game now that they've given the green light to kick off. Carter?
And certainly concern for all those dealing with wildfires in the West. It will be a touchback to begin. Wyoming won the toss and deferred, so Boise State receives the opening kick. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups begin with guess who? Brett Rippon, the backup and then the starter. And then last year with Montel Cozart, it was series to series at times, or snap to snap with Brett Rippon. Now this season, you look at 71%. It's been absolutely incredible, the numbers he's put up. He didn't even throw a pick versus the Mountain West Conference opponent last year. He is making big-time throws, and he appears to be on a mission, Jay, in his senior year.
Continues to get better, throw by throw, game by game.
Alexander Mattson with them in the backfield. Rippon setting up a screen, and it goes for nothing, a loss of 5. As we take a look at the rest of the offense.
Well, when you look at the last game against Oklahoma State, 7 sacks. This offensive line has a lot to prove. Right tackle, Andres Preciado, he had a rough game. So did the right guard. When you get punched in the mouth, a lot of times they say to Mike Tyson, you know, you get punched in the mouth, you got a plan, all of a sudden, how do you react? Well, now we have questions. How will this offensive line react to the game against Oklahoma State? Can they rebound and get back to what Coach Harsin believes that they can be?
Both teams coming off the bye week, a lot to work on for the Broncos. After that 7-sack game, their last Cowboy opponent. Mattson out of the backfield. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long on the opening possession for the Broncos against the Cowboy D.
When you talk about this defense, it starts and ends really with the 2 safeties. We talked about Wingard in the beginning in the open, but Epps is just as good. 9 interceptions, 277 tackles. These 2 safeties have to make Brett Rippon think they're playing one thing. You're going to see him walk up to the line of scrimmage, drop into coverage. They got to find ways to get turnovers, something they've struggled with this year after being so good last year.
3rd and 8 opening possession for Boise State. Rippon over the middle on 3rd and 8, caught, first down, and more across the 45-yard line. A.J. Richardson finally brought down by Malawia.
really savvy route runner, good hands. You can see his hands right here on this play. And the ball placement by Brett Rypien is perfect. That's what makes him such a good quarterback. Not a huge arm, plenty good enough, and he's going to play at the next level. But his ball placement, understanding defenses, where to go with the ball, and then putting it right where his receiver can catch it, that separates him.
Used to say he's Mark's nephew. Now it's Mark is the uncle of Brett.
That's right.
Mattson on the left side, and he is wrestled down. It's another loss on first down. This is Chavez Pownell Jr. on the stop. So Wyoming has put Boise State behind the chains early. But the Broncos able to pick up 20 on a 3rd and 8.
This is an offense that put up 818 yards against UConn, a single school record. I mean, that's just, you can't even think about those numbers. You know, they're 14th in the FBS in points scored, 5th in passing yards. They have the ability to throw it and run it.
Cincinnati had a good day against UConn today, but Boise State's was even better. And they pulled off the gas and still at 8-18. Rypien batted down and incomplete, and that is the first incompletion. He had started 3 for 3. Johanno Gaffon. Wyoming has to get pressure from those guys up front.
And a good job by this defensive line, kind of getting a little push, and then an excellent play by Gaffon, getting his hand up and knocking that ball down.
Get up, Yo-Yo. They call him Yo-Yo, like terrible Terry Norris. So now they've got him in 3rd and long again. Last time in this position, a 20-yard gain. Rypien pressured, finds a man out of the backfield, slips the first tackle. Cowboys rally to the football and get a 3rd down stop.
Late penalty flag there. They got the stop. We're going to see what this penalty is. Came in very late. You can see Scotty Hazelton, his answer.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 30, defense. 15-yard penalty results in a 1st down. This is number 30's first foul for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Jay, you had the Broncos stopped and give this ridiculous penalty.
Well, you're looking for number 30 here.
I mean, that
must have just said something. But yeah, to your point, you had a stop. You got exactly what you wanted. You're Scotty Hazelton. You brought pressure because Boise struggled picking up pressure, especially delayed blitzes against Oklahoma State. You get the stop, and now you give them a 1st down.
Logan Wilson called for the taunting. Empty backfield, 1st and 10. Rypien quick hitter, outside, short gain. Let's check with John.
Well, what happened was after the play, after the stop, Logan Wilson stood over the Broncos players and was saying something. I couldn't hear what he said, but the official was right there, caught it. Not a smart play at all.
And that's the definition of taunting.
Yeah, you can see him bend over and stand over the top of them. Exactly.
You can talk, but standing over, that's when you get taunting. And that's so twice Wyoming had Boise State in 3rd and long. Gain of 20 on one, 15-yard penalty on the other. 8th play of the opening drive of the Broncos. Fly sweep. Shakir on the edge. Down the sideline. He stepped out, but has the 1st down. Khalil Shakir, the true freshman who's the new weapon for Boise State.
Yeah, when we talked to their coaches, they talked a lot about him. Hasn't done a ton so far. 4 rushes, 3 receptions so far in the season, but they want to get him the ball. They feel like he can be the new McNichols. You know, that's high praise when you talk to these coaches. You know what McNichols did when he was here.
Big weapon. He did everything. And Boise State will use you creatively. That's guaranteed. It's Van Buren in the backfield now. Rypien, toss, end around. Hightower spinning and diving inside the 20. Didn't we just say Boise State's going to use their weapons creatively? I mean, that's a staple of Bronco football.
They will throw everything at you to gain an advantage. They're going to do spread concepts, pro concepts, motion, formation. Really, they don't have a base offense. They kind of tailor the offense to the defense, and they try to get you in a situation with all the motion shifts to do something wrong, to line up inaccurately and not in a sound defense, and then they're going to attack that spot.
Broncos in the red zone opening drive. 10th play. One that should have been over if not for the penalty on Logan Wilson. Rypien zips complete. Monster on the slant. Nice grab. See where they mark him. Appears to be just shy of the 1st down.
Nice little route, just a little quick look in, set him up with the move. And you're going against Antonio Hall, who really struggled in their last game, got beat repeatedly by Emmanuel Hall.
3rd and 1 from inside the Wyoming 15. Ripping under center has Alexander Mattson behind him. Mattson hit in the backfield, makes a first man miss, hurdles inside the 5, stretches, he is in for a remarkable touchdown. Alexander Mattson caps the opening TD drive for the Broncos, hurdling his way in.
Victor Jones, 44, has a shot at him right here. He has to come and bring it with an inside shoulder tackle. If you miss, it goes back inside. You have to understand defenses. Know where your leverage is. Know where your help is. He comes inside and allows the running back to get outside, and it's a touchdown. And now you see the swinging gate here.
Jay, please let me handle all kicking issues.
Yeah, you got it, Carter. Well, Boise State had their kicking issues in their last game.
I know you can't wait to get into that. Oh, swinging gate and now the PAT.
Hayden Hogarth, snap down, hold down, 7-0 Boise State. This drive should have ended on 3rd down for Boise State, but a critical penalty allows them to roll 11 plays, 75 yards, skipping, leaping into the end zone. The good news in Laramie, Wyoming, as we continue to monitor the air quality. The air quality right now is getting better, so we'll be keeping an eye on it throughout the evening. But right now it's play ball, and that gives us a chance to look at Jay's extra points.
Well, hopefully for Boise State, their offensive line play quality is a lot better because they have to protect their quarterback, Brett Rippon. Defensively, make the freshman quarterback from Wyoming beat you. And it's very simple on offense for Wyoming. 150-plus yards rushing. They have back the running back. And on defense, they have to create turnovers. This was a team that led the country last year with 38 takeaways for Wyoming. They have to find a way to get the ball today.
Happy to have Jay Feely with us this week. Aaron Taylor is dealing with a family situation, needs to be with his family. We send nothing but good vibrations to AT.
And I will talk about offensive line play for AT. We're going to focus on it, big guy.
Joel Velasquez kickoff. That'll be another touchback. Austin Conway has it. So we begin for Wyoming. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups at the 25. Tyler Vanderwall, the redshirt freshman from Elk Grove, California. Christian Brothers High School, the Falcons. He won the job coming out of camp over the senior Nick Smith. Tyler Wall hasn't put up remarkable numbers, but it mattered most 2 weeks ago when they were in a tight win in Wofford, and he led a game-winning drive, 13 plays, 74 yards, game-winning touchdown pass, and the Cowboys are hoping that is a big lift for Tyler Vanderwall. Out of the eye, Vanderwall to throw on 1st down, complete to the edge. That's James Price as we look at the rest of the Cowboy starters on offense.
This offense is predicated on running the ball. They need their captain back. They got him back in Nico Evans. Going to give a big lift, and hopefully they can run the ball and have balance and then allow their quarterback, Tyler Vanderwall, to go play action, boot a little bit. That's when he's really good. If he has to stand in the pocket and take the ball and try to go downfield, he's got a strong enough arm, but he struggles a bit with the accuracy.
Evans, one of the many Cowboys coming back from injury. They really needed an off week. He's coming back from a rib injury. Evans gets his first carry, stood up, pile pushing. Evans will see where they spot him, but it'll bring up 3rd and short. Louis leads the way as we look at the Bronco D.
Well, Jabril Frazier plays the stud linebacker position. It's appropriately named because he's a stud out there, a playmaker for this defense. He can destroy your game plan if you let him. 2 sacks against Oklahoma State in their last game. They have to understand where he is. You know, you got those Velociraptor hybrid players that they talk about with Frazier and Weaver. You have to understand where they are and account for them on every play.
And on 3rd and 3, after Wyoming gave up an opening touchdown, trying to avoid 3 and out. Vanderwall fakes the toss. Now he's on the roll, has to heave it. Heavy pressure, anybody's football. It's incomplete, and the Cowboys go 3 and out. Durant Miles gets the pressure on Vanderwall.
Not what they want, Wyoming. They want to be ahead in the sticks. They want to be 3rd and short. Not have Vanderwall have to drop back and throw this ball deep. Unable to get a first down, and now you're giving that ball back to the talented offense and Brett Rippon.
Shakir will let it bounce. That's a change in punt returner for Boise State. Lets it bounce. It rolls inside the 20. So good punt from Tim Zaleski. An 11-play touchdown drive. First time Brett Rippon had it. He is closing in on 11,000 career passing yards, and he has the football when we return to Laramie. Broncos and Cowboys. Perfect time to mention the toughest sport on dirt. Taking the stage tomorrow night, 6 Eastern, for the WinStar World Casino and Resort Invitational. It's the 25th PBR Unleash the Beast series continues right here on CBS Sports Network. Go back to the opening drive for Boise State. Wyoming had them stopped, and then this penalty.
It was really about missed opportunities for this Wyoming defense. Logan Wilson, the hometown kid here from Wyoming, gets the penalty, extends the drive. Shakir hits a big run, and then you see Victor Jones there, had an opportunity in the backfield to make a big play. He doesn't. Madison makes him pay. They get in the end zone.
So Rippon in the offense takes over. Brett Rippon had 90-24 in the first half. That's pretty good. It was the second half in Stillwater that was the issue. On 1st and 10, Rippon, we got a flag, and it looks like motion on the Broncos. First downs have been tricky so far for Boise State.
False start. Number 86, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Let's check with John.
Well, guys, after that last 3 and out, I was watching the Broncos defense get off the field, and when they took their helmets off, I noticed a lot of the guys were breathing very hard just after a few plays. Now, you combine the elevation with the poor air quality, and it's not easy to breathe out here. The good news is that it does appear that the wind is blowing the smoke away from the stadium, getting a little easier to breathe.
That's very good news, John, as we've detailed about an hour before kickoff. The question whether we would kick this game off on time or even more significant, but thankfully playing ball. Rippon delivers. Thomas takes a huge pop from Antonio Hull, the junior corner.
Good stick, clean tackle there by Hall, coming in on a crossing route. Boom, you can hear that hit. That's the way you announce to somebody, hey, it's going to be a tough game. I'm going to come on here and hit you. Logan Wilson did it, but then he got the penalty. Excellent job putting his helmet to the side, making the shoulder tackle, not getting a penalty. That's what they're trying to emphasize in both college and the NFL.
On 2nd and 9, Rippon deep out. Cowboys right on top of him as soon as it is completed on the outside to Blakely.
Watch Chad Muma recognize this and come up, make the tackle on the tight end. Blakely had a really good last game against Oklahoma State. We had questions coming into the season about who would be the tight end this year for Boise State. Blakely has really answered those questions.
Big pop from Chad Muma forces 3rd and 6. Rippon rips it. Incomplete. Looked like some pressure from the Cowboys. The intended receiver was Monster. Lake and Baker there in coverage, but Cowboys were able to put a little heat on Rippon.
D coordinator Scotty Hazelton told us, stop the run, rush the passer, get pressure. That's what we're going to do. That's a play, though. That's a good ball. If you come back to that ball and make the play, Monster could have had it for his quarterback, Rippon. He was unable to do it. Looked like he got his head around a little late, didn't see the ball, wasn't able to make the play.
Well, this was the biggest issue for the Broncos in Stillwater 2 weeks ago. 2 punts blocked. Skillen gets this one off. Conway will grab it at the 33. Conway met by a bevy of Broncos, and he is driven back. So cleanly away. Siebold with a nice special teams play for the Broncos. In the Mountain Division of the Mountain West Conference, last 2 years, these have been your champs. The Broncos, the Cowboys, meet again in Laramie.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Verizon. Now go mix and match family unlimited plans. And by Chick-fil-A Nuggets. Tonight is Nugget Night.
Flashing back 2 years ago, last meeting in Laramie. That was Wyoming over Boise State with a game-winning safety. Josiah Hall with the safety dance. So sad memories for the Broncos. The only time that Wyoming has beaten Boise State. But as is the case in college football, a lot of different faces in 2018. And we're 2 years ago when the last time they met here. That's a handoff to Little Rocket Man, Rahib Ismail Jr. DeAndre Pierce, that's a good meeting, speaking of the NFL. So, yeah, notable players from that game who are now in the National Football League. You probably know about Josh Allen and what he's doing at quarterback for the Buffalo Bills now. But Chase Rouet, Brian Hill, Jacob Hollister, Tanner Gentry, all playing on Sundays on a roster. And, I mean, that's what Craig Bohl quickly built this program into solid.
And when you talk about Craig Bohl, his last two quarterbacks, really, Josh Allen and Carson Wentz. The number 7 overall pick, the number 2 overall pick. That's a great recruiting tool when you're trying to get players to come play for you.
Just to look at that number of Cowboys in the NFL. Checking to see if this is delayed game. And what Craig Bohl is signaling is then the play clock should have been reset. In fact, the game clock is still running, so they just stopped it at 5:58. So we're going to have quite a few clock issues to work out here. So delay of game is the flag. But when you get reset for ready to play, you'll get the raise the roof signal sometimes from officials saying that put the clock back at 25. Clock operator may not have seen that. We'll hear about it.
There's a play clock malfunction. The play clock needs to be reset to 25 seconds. The clock will start on the snap. Thank you.
Okay, so instead of going to 40 as it should have, it went to 25, therefore no delay of game. And we have 2nd and 7. Play ball, no flag.
That's right.
That's the theme of the night. Play ball. Vanderwall zips it out, incomplete. And looked like Scott was the intended receiver and Jalen Walker there in coverage. The Broncos are without Tyler Horton, the senior corner, who had 2 fumble recoveries, both for touchdowns versus Troy. He is not available tonight.
Missing their best corner, as you said, in Tyler Horton, missing their best interior defensive lineman in David Moa. He may play, but we don't expect to see him a lot. Both dealing with injury issues. Now you got a timeout.
Broncos.
Timeout. Boise State, they're first. It will be 30 seconds.
And remember, this is coming off a bye week. So for Horton and Moa, you had time to get them healthy. But Tyler Morton had a start to the college football season unlike any other defensive player I think will ever have. Opener versus Troy. We know Troy's a good football team. And here is not 1, but 2 fumble recoveries for touchdowns in the opening week for Boise State and Tyler Horton.
We had a couple interceptions, a couple fumble recoveries last year as well. This is a guy they asked to do a lot. They put him on the best receiver. He moves with him, shadows that best receiver. So to not have Tyler Horton on your defense for this team is big, you know. And so who has to pick up the slack? Not only secondary, but also that defensive front. And you need guys to get in there, guys like Curtis Weaver and Jabril Frazier, to make plays, to get pressure on that quarterback.
And here is 3rd and 7. Vanderwall in the pocket, time to throw, missed it on the outside, took a hit, and Vanderwall is seeking a flag for roughing the passer. Not going to get that one. Canijo there in coverage, and Wyoming goes 3 and out.
The crowd wanted a flag as well. The ball was inside, his defender was outside. He just kind of tripped there. You can see the ball inside and his receiver had gone outside, so miscommunication between these two I said it earlier, Vanderwall has a huge arm, but he has to continue to work on accuracy, and that offense has got to put him in the right positions.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs and a fumbled snap by Wyoming, scooped up by the Broncos. He's going to be down, but it's Boise State football. So no celebration in the end zone, but the Broncos benefit from a special teams mistake.
His knee on the ground. First down, Boise State.
It's Jalen Walker, you said, had to step up.
Boise State had the issues last year protecting on punt. This is a fine snap, a little low, but you got to catch that and get it off. The inability to catch the ball. And Boise State has a big play. You can see the ball just slip through his hands. Number one thing you have to do as a punter is look that ball in, just like a receiver would do. You do drills every day, 30 to 50 times you catch balls out of jugs to make sure that you catch it and get into your steps for punting. And that's a big mistake by Wyoming and a huge turnover, really, for Boise State.
Giving the Broncos the football at the Wyoming 24-yard line. Opening drive touchdown for Boise State. Then they went 3-and-out, and now a short field. Rippon zips it. That was a dangerous throw to the outside. It is complete. Minimal gain, but that one could have been picked going the other way.
Red Ripper right away. You thought they might take a shot down the field. They don't. They throw a little bubble screen. And a good job defensively by getting there. I think if he would have went for the ball, Blankenbaker might have got it.
Wyoming doesn't have a first down. And Boise State, 7-0 lead, has it inside the Cowboy 25. Rippon, hand to Matson. Nothing much doing up the middle for the Bronco run game with Alexander Matson. Just a gain of a couple. Going to bring up 3rd and long for Boise State.
So you have 3rd and long here, but you're not worried, especially at elevation here at over 7,200 feet, with the distance of your field goal. You know, sitting here, it'd be about a 40-yard field goal. So you're not trying at all to get yardage for your field goal kicker. You're trying to get a first down or a touchdown. Look for A.J. Richardson. He's lining up inside in the slot. Look for him to run a little choice route maybe from the slot.
Rippon looks the other way, fires goal line, incomplete, intended for Modster. Got tangled up in coverage with Pownell Jr., the senior safety, and here comes the field goal unit. Now, Hayden Hogarth did miss from 26 in their last game at Oklahoma State.
He did. It was a low snap that his holder bobbled on the ground, got it up late. He still should have made that kick from that distance, but you want to look at the operations. Problems with the punt protection unit, and then obviously missing a short field goal. Really, they could have had a 14 or 17-0 lead in that first quarter.
This one from 39, and it is no good. So the Broncos cannot capitalize on the special teams mistake by Wyoming.
Really not even close there, Carter. Hogarth just missed it, pushed it wide right from the beginning. Snap was fine, the hold was fine. And you're going to see right here, just pushes it right away. Not even close. And what a stop for Wyoming in that defense. Punter's off the hook. He's breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, they say Wyoming is for lovers, and they love the Cowboys here at War Memorial Stadium as we take a look at the Go RVing road trip facts. Opened 1950, yes, 7,220 feet above sea level, the highest in the FBS. Boise, elevation as well, but nothing close to Laramie, Wyoming. So as John pointed out, sometimes even with air quality good, it can be difficult to get your breath.
Well, maybe I need to bring my wife up here then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make a little trip.
No question about it. We always love our trips to Laramie, and the games are always eventful, one way or another. Wyoming needs to make something happen on offense. Vanderwall hands off. That's Nico Evans with a huge carry. Perfect time to send it to John.
Well, the bye week came at a great time for Wyoming. They got 4 key players back, 3 on the offensive side of the ball. Nico Evans, Devon Bigelow in the backfield, and Austin Ford at tight end. And for this Wyoming team, they haven't taken many deep shots, so they really want to depend on that run game, especially since David Moa for Boise State is dressed, but I haven't seen him with a helmet yet. Not sure how much he's going to play today.
Well, that game puts Wyoming back in positive offensive territory, and they give it right back with a false start prior to second down. There is David Moa. Again, he missed the first two. Fifth-year senior from San Diego. And we have not seen him put a helmet on so far tonight.
But this is a big penalty here on Wyoming. They get a good run.
Delay of game, defense. Number 98. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now that
you don't see that call very often, do you?
And it must have been something about the snap count. We don't get that full explanation, but for Louis, that's when you get delay of game.
I'm watching. You know, I don't see anything unless they said something that we couldn't hear.
And that's what.
Yep.
Maybe a snap count.
Yeah, if you simulate the snap, that can be the call.
So wipe out what we said was a big penalty against Wyoming. It's a bad one on the Broncos. 1st and 10. The first down for Wyoming comes on delay of game on the defense.
Whatever way you got to do.
I mean, they started this drive with -1 yards of offense, and Louis' penalty. So we've seen one consequential one, Logan Wilson for Wyoming, and now Natane Louis, the junior nose tackle, called for delay of game, giving Wyoming its first down. Now can the Cowboys get some momentum at the end of the first?
Second time you've seen 4 wide. You don't often see Wyoming do that. Empty backfield.
And here's a toss. Evans out of the backfield. Blockers on the edge. It goes nowhere. Loss of 2. There is a flag down. Maeva on the stop.
So they go 3 wide receivers to the left and try to throw a little swing pass out there to the left, get blockers in front.
Holding, number 17, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's receiver Ishmael Jr. You're trying to come out and get a swing pass. Use your receivers to get out in front and block. Try to create something. Not only do you not get a good play, but you get the penalty, which they decline.
Well, you have a loss of 2, so decline it and force the Cowboys into 3rd down here. Got held and still made a tackle for loss. Maeva.
They got Austin Fort back. He's been injured. You see him in motion there.
3rd and 8. Pass high, caught. Conway hauls it in. He'll be short of the first down. Austin Conway makes the grab. Jalen Walker on the stop.
I don't like that route, though. Not that he ran a wrong route, but he ran a route and he was 3 yards short of the first down. A little hitch, and then he catches it. They're trying to get it. Go past the sticks. Why stop this route right here and throw the ball short and allow the defense to come up and to make that tackle? It just doesn't make sense to me. And remember, they dropped the snap last time they punted.
Zaleski catches this one cleanly, gets it off cleanly. Shakir back for Boise State. Has it at the 18, throws it in reverse, and he is wrestled down in the open field. Well, the Cowboys not doing much on offense, but Aiden Eberhardt makes sure he gets down and makes a special teams tackle to help the Cowboys.
And that's where you need special teams to step up. When you're not doing things offensively, you got to get down and you got to make a play. You need your defense to get a turnover, special team to get a play. It's interesting for Boise State that they're having Shakir, the freshman, back there returning punch. You have Avery Williams, who was injured at the beginning of the season, who was the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Year, not back there at 2 punt returns at the beginning of the season last year. He's not returning punts.
From their own 13, the Broncos. Ripping over the middle, almost picked. Antonio Hull had 2 hands on the football.
Oh, that's a play you got to make. Brett Rippon doesn't make many mistakes. He doesn't put the ball in positions where defenses can make a play on it. This ball right here, he comes all the way back to his 3rd read. His receiver stopped, and Antonio Hall has to make that play. The ball's right in his hands. Unable to do it. That would have been a huge play. We talked about special teams making a play. That's what you need to do. That's what Scotty Hazelton, their defensive coordinator, said his defense had to do, is try and get turnovers.
Fake it. Rippon hit as he throws. Bobbled and incomplete. Behind the intended receiver, Octavius Evans. And it was Carl Granderson who drilled Brett Rippon.
You're going to see right here, coming underneath, and then Rippon getting hit again. Pressure, that was what Oklahoma State did. They were able to get pressure, a little up and under move. Poor job outside. You know, I highlighted him in the opening. Right tackle, Andres Preciado. Poor job blocking. That's what they struggle with against Oklahoma State. Now they got 3rd and long.
Rippon's just 1 for his last 5 after a hot start. Time to throw on 3rd down. Another dangerous throw. It's complete. Short of a first down. Mahone made the catch in heavy traffic and gets close, but he appears to be short. Logan Wilson makes that stop. Rippon and the offense are staying on the field right now. Is it a first down?
I think
yes,
it is. Yeah.
Yep,
and he only got it because of second effort. That throw was 5 yards short of the first down. Broke a tackle and then broke another one. An excellent effort to get the first down.
Oh, Craig Bull frustrated.
He didn't like it. He wanted to at least get a spot.
Right. Mahone out of the backfield, makes the grab on the wheel, stutter stepping his way across the 25 and gets shoved out. Wingard forces him out. Let's go back to that Mahone catch on 3rd down.
It's a nice grab right there. You see that breaking one tackle, breaking another here. Poor job of effort right there to come in and finish and make the play by Sam. Linebacker really plays nickel. Tyler Hall come in there and make a physical tackle. You'd have stopped him short.
I thought they got a favorable spot there with Mahone sticking the ball out after he was down, but credit him with putting the ball out and getting that first down. So now it's Matson back in the backfield. He had the touchdown run for the Broncos. The junior from San Bernardino, California. Great piece by our feature team aired on Inside College Football about Alexander and his background. And one of the lines I loved from was, he said, once I got straight A's, I couldn't get enough of it. And
how cool is that? I wish my kids would listen to that lesson.
Well, you can show them.
Although my daughter's great. She gets straight A's. She's done an excellent job.
You could show them that feature.
My son, he needs to study. He needs to listen to that.
3rd and 1, closing seconds of the first quarter. Matson in the backfield. Rippon will keep and stretch, and he has a first down. Had to fight for it behind Eric Quevedo, the junior right guard.
Brett Rippon's got good size, 6'2", 202. Good push by that offensive line inside. You can see the surge they got from the center left guard. Really, the strength of this offensive line is on the left side with their left tackle, Ezra Cleveland, and their left guard, John Molchon. The right side of that offensive line has questions, struggled mightily against Oklahoma State, and they've had issues today.
9 seconds left in the quarter. Broncos will, of course, snap it. And Rippon on the roll. Rippon wrestled down. Big pop on Rippon to close out the first quarter. So Boise State rolled on an 11-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, aided by a Wyoming penalty. But the Cowboys starting to ride for the brand at the end of 7-0. After 7-0 Broncos on the Cowboys, this weekend is the American Football Coaches Association's annual Coach to Cure MD initiative, an attempt to raise awareness for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a genetic disorder in young men. 10,000 coaches are participating nationwide, including both Brian Harsin and Craig Bohl here today. To learn more, go to www.coachtocuremd.org. And Jay Feely, I know this is very close to your heart.
I started working with muscular dystrophy camps when I was 15 years old, going for a week, spending a week serving. Really, there's nothing better you can do as a narcissistic teenager than go and spend a week just serving, having fun, and learning that they may have disabilities, but they're the same as you and I, and they love life. And really, they teach you so much just to be about being grateful for everything that you have in your own life.
Amen. Brett Rippon, 2nd and 10. Stepping up. Deep ball. Richardson holds it in Wyoming territory. Richardson had to come back, but still makes the grab.
An excellent job by Brett Rippon, stepping up in the pocket, not getting rattled by the pocket collapsing, and then an even better job going up and making that grab by Richardson. He made a spectacular catch in their last game for a touchdown, one-handed.
Gain of 20, Rippon over the middle. That's Richardson again to near the 36. It's a gain of 8 more. Marcus Epps there on the stop. How about the Broncos have 5 TD passes of 50-plus yards this year. All of their receivers have made incredible grabs. 2nd and 2. Rippon looking to toss it again. Flags are down as Rippon goes rolling for a first down. He's inside the 20. He slides near the 15. But this appears to all be coming back.
Yeah, you're going to see a holding call here. It's going to come back.
Get another penalty flag down there.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 79, offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
More issues with the Boise State offensive line.
That's their right guard, Eric Cavedo. Right there, you see it. Gets the right hand up in the face. You got to keep those hands down low in the chest. He was in good position. The hand just kind of slid up, and then he finished with that little punch there, and that's what both officials saw. You had a nice run by your quarterback. You had a good drive going. And then again, your offensive line has issues and backs you up. That offensive line, they got to get things fixed because this is an excellent team with weapons all over the field. And you have big aspirations. You got to fix the problems with the offensive line.
Well, the Broncos were rolling and getting up tempo. Now they're backed into 2nd and 17. Rippon, time to throw here over the middle. Why not Richardson again? Forget about 2nd and 17. Just go ahead and move those chains. A.J. Richardson in the middle of the Cowboy D for 19 more.
Watch Brett Rippon go through his progression. Looks to the seam. It's not there. Comes back to Richardson. A great throw right on the money so his receiver can catch it and then get a little turn inside and pick up another 5 or 6 yards. We talked about how gifted he is as a passer. It's ball placement, accuracy, putting the ball in the right place, knowing what defenses are doing and knowing where to go with it.
Rippon gonna toss. Matson fakes the reverse. Matson keeps it and gets to the edge and is finally shoved out. So they fake the reverse to Hightower. Matson keeps it and gets another big gain.
Everything this team does offensively is to keep a defense from being aggressive. The shifts, the motions, 30 different personnel groups throughout the game. Everything to keep a defense on its heels so they can't be aggressive and come after you. You know, you see a little fake reverse and then we pick up 7-8 yards. Now you're worried. Now your defensive ends aren't coming up the line so quickly. They do a good job of scheming to success.
On 2nd and 3. Fake it, toss it, complete on the edge, first down inside the 20. There is a flag down. Callingham, the tight end, makes the grab. Now we check the flag. I don't think Brian Harson's happy about it.
I think it's going to be procedural against Boise State pre-snap. Going to come back here.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Number 5, offense. Number 5 was covered up on the line and was ineligible by rule. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
Jay, you're all over it.
Well, here you go. You see the receiver covering up. Number 5 right there who's going to catch the ball as he comes across. He's got to be off the line of scrimmage there.
So we've seen a weird one on the Boise State defense when Louis was flagged for delay of game on the defense, and then now that procedure penalty makes it 2nd and 8. And Broncos, right as they start to get some momentum rolling, have been their own worst enemy.
And this is what they did against Oklahoma State. I said they had opportunities to really open up a big lead early, and they weren't able to do it.
Monster on the slant makes the grab inside the 25. Hole on the stop. So Brett Rippon now over 11,000 passing yards in his Boise State career. That puts him in 3rd place in the 20-year history of Mountain West Conference football.
I know those 3 guys.
Yeah.
Ryan Lindley, Max Hall played with them with the Cardinals, and John Beck with the Dolphins. 3 great guys. 3rd short. I think they're in 2-down territory here if they don't get a yard. So you can be aggressive here, Carter.
And Rippon, keeper, easily picking up the first down. I say easily, you're right.
It looked like he had it. They got good surge. I think he's short.
Logan Wilson, who had the huge penalty early, Gets the stop here.
You
Let's
saw
take a
this
look.
surge, and there's an opportunity right there, but he kind of gets caught up in the wash.
I want to measure that.
I might want to look at it too, because
so
he
as
was
well.
ahead and it looked like he was past the sticks, and then he got pushed back. That's where they came in and made the spot. I said I thought they were in 2-down territory, and they're going for it.
Broncos got a favorable spot earlier for a first down. This one may not be. 4th and inches. Matson in the backfield.
Overload left.
Rippon's going to keep it. He's going to roll in this time. He has enough for a first down. And the Broncos are now 5 of 6. 4th down this year.
That's the strength of this offensive line, the left side. Trust your offensive line. Tell those guys, hey, we're going to get this first down. We're going for it on 4th and 1. We're going to run right behind you. It's your job to get a surge. That's exactly what they did. They get the first down.
Ezra Cleveland, the left tackle, slow getting up. It is 1st and 10 Broncos. And that tells you 9 first downs for the Broncos, only 1 for the Cowboys. And yet, only the opening drive touchdown. The Broncos were unable to capitalize on excellent field position off a muff punt. So the 15th play of this drive. Rippon to the end zone. Richardson, heavy traffic. He hauls it in for the touchdown. A.J. Richardson with another remarkable touchdown grab. This one goes for 21, and Boise State caps a 15-play touchdown drive.
Watch this throw by Brett Rippon. A little window to get it in there in between the safeties. Hall coming over. Rippon rips it in. And A.J. Richardson does the rest. Goes up, a strong ball, strong hands, goes up, catches the ball, knows he's going to take a hit, secures the ball and gets the touchdown. That's a great play by that receiver.
What do you think about the swinging gate?
I don't know that it does much for you. If you're going to run something out of it, sure. Really, you're doing it for 1 or 2 opportunities. If you get the right look, you may run something, and maybe it's at a time in a game that you really need it. You have to set it up beforehand to try and do that.
Hogarth beats the PAT through, so touchdown drives of 11 plays on the opener for Boise State. Stymied a couple of times into the end zone. Richardson takes the pop, hangs on. 7 more for the Broncos. $14-0 Boise State. Richardson. All right, Jay, let's flash back to Stillwater and a grab, and then this last one for AJ.
This one's sexy, right? It's a one-hander down the sideline. An excellent catch, gets a touchdown. I prefer this one right here tonight because it's tough and physical, and he knows he's going to take a pop, and that takes courage to go up high and to catch that ball and to hold on and to not worry about taking a hit. Whenever I see a guy that is willing to risk his body and puts it on the line for his team and makes a play, that's what I respect.
Rippon on that drive goes 7 for 9. Richardson, 3 straight games of the TD grab. I mean, 34-yarder remarkable in Oklahoma State, 74-yarder versus UConn. They have all been great grabs. This will be a touchback. Cowboy football at the 25. There are over 6,000 independent craft breweries that are disrupting how things are done. Support those that turn the beer world upside down. That's independence you're tasting. By far my favorite promo. Our first 3 possessions for Wyoming, that's not what you want your drive chart to look like.
No, you got to get going. You got to get this. You got to start running the ball. You got Nico Evans back. You had a couple good runs and then you came back, but you got to find a way to get first downs, to move the ball, to try to get back in this game. The last thing you want to do is give this ball back to Brett Rippon and that offense who started to get in rhythm and are moving the ball down the field. Establish yourself running the ball. That's what they said. They got to get over 150 yards rushing. It's been a struggle tonight. They only averaged 3.3 yards per rush against Wolford.
There was an offsides on the kicking team, 5 yards. That's why they have it at the 30. Cowboy offense needs a boost. Vanderwall on the roll, dumps it off. That's complete, and it is the tight end Mayfield who makes the grab, and a nice second effort to get the first down. That's the biggest offensive play of the night for Wyoming. It goes for 13.
Vanderwall was looking downfield. He had two receivers and then dumped it off to his tight end. A very good decision. Nice balance right there, and then fighting for that first down. That's what they need. They need individual efforts to get something going, to get momentum, to find something to feel good about yourself offensively.
They had 12 yards of offense prior to that play. 13
Doubled
on the
it
completion.
up, huh?
First and 10, and Nico Evans with a seam up the middle. That's what the Cowboys thought they could get against Boise State. Creases for the run game, gain of 9.
Yeah, that's a good run, a good job by that offensive line. Jackson and Velasquez on the right side, opening it up. Right here, you're going to see a nice crease, and then Nico Evans hitting it hard quickly before anybody can converge on him, and that's kind of what he brings. He's a captain for a reason, you know, an unsung hero, a guy who got a lot stronger during the offseason so that he could make runs just like that.
Evans again. Enough for the first down. Push into the 45-yard line before Matt Locker makes the stop. And you talk about Wyoming's struggles and all of the injuries and who they missed. Well, the first thing Craig Bull talks about is our offensive captains, Austin Fort and Nico Evans, weren't on the field. And you have a redshirt freshman quarterback, and as much as you can rah-rah in street clothes, it's not the same as being on the field.
And they know they would have struggles with Vanderwall as a freshman coming in, starting. So it's incumbent upon those other guys, the offensive line, your captain running back, your tight end, to make plays.
Evans going to take it on first down. Nothing much doing this time. Jabril Frazier on the stop. Give Jalen Walker a pop there too, so nothing doing there. This is already the best drive for Wyoming. Previously, their only first down was on a penalty by Boise State.
They run a pro-style offense, power running. They want to be downhill and then play action, be able to do some sprint outs, some rollouts. The ability to run the ball sets up everything else.
Evans motions out, empty backfield. Vanderwall pressured on 2nd and 9. He's in trouble, has to just dump it out of bounds. He was outside the tackle box, and it's 3rd down. Chase Atada puts the pressure.
That was a freshman decision. You're going to see 81 Austin Fort wide open here. He should have gone right away on the side of your screen. Look how open he was immediately if he threw that ball. Vanderwall didn't see him. He would at least gotten 5 yards. If he breaks a tackle, he's going to get a really long gain. You know, that's where you see some of those. You don't know exactly where to go with the ball. On the other side, Brett Rippon, he's so smart understanding defenses, really all the time knows exactly where to go to exploit that defense. Now you're sitting here and you're in a bad situation.
Flag down.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Quarterback was outside the pocket, but the ball did not make the line of the scrimmage. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Good explanation. Basically turns it into a sack.
So it goes from bad to worse. You miss your tight end who's open. He looked over there and didn't throw it. And as he's rolling out, he's got to get this ball past the line of scrimmage. 3 yards short of the line of scrimmage, and it's a bad penalty, and put yourself in a situation where they're not set up. I'd look for Ishmael. Try and find a play. Get it to one of your playmakers.
You crossed the 50 for the first time, and now you're right back on the negative side. Vanderwall setting up the screen. Evans on the edge. Evans gets across the 50, nowhere close to the first down. 4th down coming for Wyoming. Nawahine on the tackle for Boise State. Still don't have a 3rd down conversion in the game for Wyoming. They will punt, and remember Zaleski had the fumbled punt 2 opportunities ago. Boise State was unable to capitalize, missed field goal. And Zaleski will try and pin the Broncos back. Again, it's Khalil Shakir, true freshman, who is back.
He's dangerous. You got to get down and cover. They did a good job last time.
Avery Williams still battling the elbow injury. Shakir, fair catch, has to come up and grab it. He lost it for a moment. There is a flag down. Shakir got back on top of it, but muffed it for a moment. It's Boise State football. At the 15, there is a flag.
Yeah, you're going to see holding on Boise State here, so they're going to back it up. Shakir made a young freshman mistake there.
During the kick, holding number 15 on the return team. At the distance from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
14-0 Boise State. Nothing much doing for Wyoming, but the Broncos are backed up. Special teams bobble. Boise State football inside their own 10. Our Chick-fil-A fan cam. They've been getting after it all day. Even on Chick-fil-A fan cam, you can appreciate the whole hog. But how about this appreciation? Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's an Alice Chalmers or a John Deere, but that's impressive.
I want to see Shrippen do that.
That's you.
Plus, I thought you'd bring us some barbecue. You know, I've heard about all your barbecue and your prowess behind the grill.
Yes.
You know, I thought maybe I'd get to partake in some of that.
You keep talking about that, Jay.
Well, you didn't bring me any, so what? I can't. I don't have an educated opinion on that.
Okay. Okay, we need to.
If I do a game with you again, you bring me some barbecue.
Done.
Promise?
Done. That's
right.
That's it right here. We're literally shaking hands on that. Next time Jay and I get together, there will be some of Blackburn's famous beef ribs, and I mean famous. No brining needed. Rippin 1st and 10. Rippin from his own goal line, airs it out, and is caught across the 50-yard line. Sean Monster holds it in. Backed up no more. Monster's down on the sideline, but it's a gain of 46 when the Broncos started backed up inside their own 10.
It's just a go route, but watch this ball by Brett Rippin. A good job of that offensive line. Clean pocket. We showed that in the open. Perfect ball location. He knows the timing. He knows where to go with the ball. Now, did he? Yeah, he caught it. He's taken 5 steps. Doesn't matter if it moves at the end there. He already secured the catch, and what a ball by Brett Rippin.
Got Matson behind him now after a gain of 46. Time to throw. Shakir out route, incomplete. There's a flag. Going to be on Wyoming. And it's Blake and Baker who gets tangled up with Shakir and gets the penalty. Monster getting some attention from the training staff of Boise State.
Pass interference. Number 10, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Wyoming's just hurting themselves. You know, they have opportunities to try to make plays, giving them first downs, hurting themselves offensively. It was really on 18. He said 10. You can see he just grabs, pulls back, and that's an easy call. And really just panic. You're in good position. You don't need to grab a hold of the top of his jersey and pull him. Just make the adjustment.
Broncos snap it quick on first down. Looking for the end zone. Incomplete. A hold. No, he did. He holds it in. Oh, my goodness. Another one-handed grab. This time it's Hightower around Antonio Hall.
Hightower had it play just like that against Oklahoma State as well.
In the field is a catch with the runner down short of the goal line. First down.
I mean, look at that catch. He was a one-handed catch, and he lost his shoe. Doesn't need his shoe. Don't worry about it. I only need one arm and one shoe.
I saw the shoe coming out. I thought it was a football. Instead, it's a grab. Oh, my goodness. Now, Bull wants to take time out. He wants to, he wants a replay to take a look at this. That is just spectacular by Hightower.
Craig Bull didn't think it was a catch, just like you did at the beginning. What an unbelievable play. Great throw again by Rippin, putting it where his receiver can catch it. Just an unbelievable job going up and catching that ball one-handed.
6 plays of 15+ through the air for the Broncos.
Substitution matchup situation. Wyoming is not calling a timeout on the play. First down.
So any of these hurry-up spread offenses, when you substitute offensively, the defense has 3 seconds to begin to respond and get their players on there. They're going to hold it. It was interesting because Boise State got to delay a game against Oklahoma State when they were bringing their defensive players out. So the officials are doing a good job of regulating that now, holding it, making the offense wait, allowing the defense to come on when the offense substitutes.
In 3 plays, the Broncos have gone from their own 8 to the Wyoming 1.
Is that good?
Real
That's pretty good.
Madsen in the backfield. He'll take it. Stop short. Cowboys clearly trying to get the football out. Madsen hangs on to it. 2nd and goal. He already has 1 touchdown run.
You know, last year, you mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, that Brett Rippon was splitting time with Montel Cozart. I did one of their games against Fresno State. I didn't like it. I thought it took the ball out of your best player's hands in Brett Rippon. It kind of undermined his ability to lead. It brought him out in the first half of the season out of rhythm. He's back in rhythm this year and throwing the ball as well as he ever has.
Hands off on 2nd and goal. Madsen trying to find the edge. Wrestled down out of bounds. To force 3rd and goal. Logan Wilson, the junior from Casper, who had the big penalty early, makes a big stop on 2nd and goal.
Great job coming across, scraping and making a physical tackle, giving your defense an opportunity to stand up and get a desperately needed stop.
3rd and goal. Modster is back in the game for Boise State. Madsen's going to check out for 3rd and goal. Pistol Pete trying to get War Memorial Stadium on its feet. Mahomes in the backfield.
Got a little wildcat here.
Yep, sure do. Snap it, run it. That's Shakir on the edge, reaches, stretches, touchdown, Boise State. They snap it to the true freshman, Khalil Shakir.
Rolling on the field is a touchdown.
I'm sure we'll look at it again. 92 yards in 5 plays.
Well, there's the weapon that they were telling us about. Get it to your freshman and look at him go up in the air and get that ball. It's got to go inside. The ball has to go inside the pylon. They called it a touchdown.
The ruling of a touchdown is under further review.
So you need to have indisputable evidence here to overturn this. From every look I've seen, you don't have anything indisputable. If that ball goes inside the pylon, right there you saw it, it's a touchdown. You saw that ball and that one go inside the pylon. They called it a touchdown correctly, and I think it's going to stand.
And basically say as soon as you break that plane, everything that happens after that doesn't matter. So touchdown, ball comes out. And D. Anderson, our replay official, will have a closer look. The call on the field is touchdown.
Yeah, and if he lost that ball before he crossed the goal line, it would be a touchback, which would be a huge play. But he didn't. He got the ball inside the pylon, and I think it will stand.
For the Cowboys, you talk about, I mean, if this touchdown stands, went 91 yards in 3 plays, and then got him to 3rd and goal. But I mean, that was Wyoming's opportunity with the Broncos backed up, and Boise State just busted it.
That's right. It's 14-0. You got them backed up. You're telling your defense right now is when we have to make a play. We got to get a stop, try and get a turnover, and get back in this game. And Brett Rippon says, "No, you're not. No, hold your roll a little bit. Not so fast. I'm going to throw a couple of dimes all the way down the field and quickly get us down there to get a score."
And the good note for Boise State, Modster was back on the field for that 3rd and goal. And again, D. Anderson, the replay official, having another look at this to make sure that Shakir is in. Ball comes out, but if it's after the touchdown, plane is broken, inconsequential. Let's see, if this one is overturned, I would love to hear the explanation.
It's not going to be.
No, I think it's... Here we go.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
A commanding 20-0 lead now for Boise State on a Wyoming team that is only averaging 20 points per game.
Yeah, you don't have an offense that's built to come back when you get behind by 20, 21 points. They're going to have some turnovers, and a lot of things go their way to try to get back in this game. And because you've pretty much been inept on offense so far.
Hogarth PAT makes it 21-0. So from their own 8, through the air, shoeless John Hightower. Just need one hand to make that grab. And then into the end zone, Mr. Shakir. On the last 2 drives, Brett Ribbon 9 for 9. Next Saturday, CBS Sports Network has another full lineup of college football, highlighted by some armed services action when Navy battles Air Force, 3:30 Eastern to end the night. Mountain West showdown, Colorado State and San Jose State. Well, the Commander-in-Chief Trophy was a memorable one a year ago with Army's win to the Commander-in-Chief Trophy for the first time since 1996.
Army had a big win today against previously undefeated Buffalo. Really blew them out after coming oh so close last week against Oklahoma.
Syracuse came oh so close this week against Clemson.
They blew that game. They had that game.
Oh,
and they blew
wow.
it.
Blew it?
They blew it.
Strong words from Jay Feely. That'll be a touchback 25. Let's throw it to Brent Stover in New York for the Independent Craft Brewery updates.
Notre Dame and Stanford 7-all late first play action. Nick Wisher from Ian Book. It's 14-7. Notre Dame leads the Cardinal, guys.
Thank you, Brent. I know you were hoping for another update.
Well, I got it from my wife. Michigan won, so I'm good.
after the slow start against Northwestern.
They came back and won. But that Notre Dame Stanford game will go a long way. I think one of those teams, whoever wins today, may get into the Final Four. I picked Stanford at the beginning of the season.
That is consequential. Vanderwall under center. A redshirt freshman QB. Chased, dances, zips it complete for the biggest pass play of the day for Wyoming. It goes to Tyree Mayfield.
Not only the biggest pass play, but that was his best play. Watch him in the pocket. Watch the movement here to step up, to get around, to reset, and then rip this ball. That's a play to build on right there. It's a great job by your freshman quarterback, not getting flustered by the pressure, and then making an excellent throw and getting a first down.
A gain of 19 from Vanderwall to Tyree Mayfield.
You can see how strong his arm there was on that play. Really couldn't step into it, got set, and just ripped it.
Vanderwall going to hand off. Here's the reverse. On the edge, Price. Snuffed out by the Broncos. It'll go for a loss. Weaver, or rather Frazier on the edge, and Riley Wimpy for a tackle for loss of 5.
One of the things that I think is a big advantage defensively for Boise State, you see these kind of plays in practice all the time. Boise State has as many or more than anybody else in the country, so you're constantly seeing these plays, being aware, and I think that leads to playing smart, responsive defense when you get on the field on game day.
Looked like it there. Third tackle for loss by the Broncos. Backs the Cowboys into 2nd and 15. Vanderwall zips it back to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to be Conway making the grab, but you're in 3rd and long again. You'll be 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12.
Well, and you're behind 21. You know that you need to try to go down and get something before half. Try to get some points. Have a drive that you go in and talk to that offense about and say, hey, we have something to build on. Did you see what we did? It's important 3rd down here.
Only 4 first downs for the Cowboys. They are 0 for on 3rd down tonight, and they're right around 34% overall. I mean, this is an offense only 8 worse yards per game. They were hoping for better tonight. Vanderwall chased again on 3rd and long. Vanderwall's going to tuck it, be forced out, nowhere close, only gets a couple. So the Broncos hold on 3rd down. Wyoming still doesn't have a 3rd down conversion. Maeva finally forces Vanderwall out, and Zaleski's on to punt for the 5th time in this first half.
I understand that Tyler Vanderwall wanted to be smart with that ball, but that's a play that you got to try and make something happen. You're down 21. You don't want to give this ball back. It's 3rd and 11. You got to try to rip one in there. He had a receiver that for a second was open.
Zaleski has this one blocked. Broncos are on top of it at the 43. So you get a bobbled punt and then now one blocked. And it's Hightower who has the block. One-handed remarkable grab on offense. And then Hightower stretching that hand out again. Siebold recovers it. Hightower gets the block.
Eerily similar here to what happened against Boise State when they were playing Oklahoma State. Coming off the edge, the shield has to understand you are protecting inside out, but you have to, as the outside guy on the left, protect that edge. And you should know that Hightower is a burner that's got great speed, and he gets home and blocks that. Nothing the punter can do.
First blocked kick of the year by Boise State. So this is going to be Chase Cord in at quarterback. Wrinkle as Chase Cord goes up to 35. Didn't even get a chance to ask you about the timing of the snaps on the punts. We'll hopefully get to that later.
Everything was fine. It was just, again, what happened to Boise State. I mean, their punt times were fine, even though there was much discussed and people talked about it. But it was protection issues. The same thing there for Wyoming. They brought in their young quarterback a couple of times. Boise State has at different times to run the ball. Had a big run on his first touch.
Now Cord gets 7. Now Rippon, who was 9 for his last 9. Hands off. Matson dancing his way inside the 30-yard line to near the 25. Wingard on the stop. Brett Rippon has been perfect last 2 times the Broncos have touched the football.
He's really been close to perfect throughout the season. It's a guy that's putting up yards as well as anybody in the country, throwing for over 300 yards. Every game they played this year, you see the precision and the ball placement.
Over 11,000 passing yards in his Bronco career now. Flings it to the outside. That's complete. Butler on the edge. Butler fighting. Gets inside the 20.
One of the things that having to split time with Montel Kozar did, I think, for Brett Rippon was he had to deal with adversity. And he had to overcome it and really get tougher as a quarterback mentally. I think it's helped him tremendously to have gone through that, not allow it to defeat him, continue to play well through it, and then you're seeing the fruit of that this year.
Matson cut back. And he has it inside the 15. Move the chains. Cowboys had him bottled up. Alexander Matson bounces it. Special teams advantage big time to the Broncos tonight. I mean, you had the missed field goal as well for Boise State, but compared to a blocked punt and fumbled snap on a punt, got Chase Cord back at quarterback now for 1st and 10 in the red zone. For the redshirt freshman from Peoria, Arizona, played late versus UConn, his only other action. Cord shovel. That's a completed pass to Hightower inside the 10. With the time ticking away in a first half that has been thoroughly dominated by Boise State.
Yeah, you could say that again. 286 yards to 53 yards. Mistakes on special teams for Wyoming. Not making big plays defensively when you need it. Getting a penalty on the stop on the first drive and giving Boise State the ability to continue with their drive. Just not really doing anything to try and win this game.
Rippon's going to hand off. That's Mahone. Mahone wrestled down by a gang of Cowboys. Timeout Boise State prior to 3rd down. Some fans have gotten to call them the Smurfs, and they are out for blood in this first half. The Boise State Broncos 21-0, threatening to score again before the half. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter will get you updated. Jay will get to see the highlights of Michigan and Northwestern, plus Notre Dame, Stanford, and Penn State, Ohio State. A hugely consequential Saturday in football that's coming up. Verizon Halftime Report.
Penn State, Ohio State, that's a huge game as well. The whiteout up there. Happy Valley. I played in a whiteout up there. It snowed like 15 inches the night before the game. They were throwing snowballs, hitting us in the face as we were playing the whole game. It was one of the crazier games I ever played in.
That's shocked that they would pelt you with snowballs.
They kept trying to stop and tell the fans not to do it.
No use.
No use, yeah. 10
straight completions. Rippon 3rd and 10 inside the Wyoming 15. Richardson, bottom of the formation. Heavy pressure. Rippon releases incomplete, intended for Modster. So the Cowboys brought the house up the middle and forced the early throw from Rippon.
Look for Modster. He's only 5'11", trying to throw the fade there. I'd have gone the other way to Richardson. He just made that great grab in traffic for the touchdown previously.
ending that ripping completion streak. So here is Hogarth from 30. He missed from 39 earlier, missed from 26 on a bad snap and hold situation in Stillwater. This one is good. So off the punt block, and then Hogarth looks like he is down. I don't see a flag, but Hogarth went down. Antonio Hull trying to get the block. And we'll take a look at that as we quickly step aside. 24-0. This is Hogarth on the Boise State sideline getting attention to his wrist.
Well, they come off the edge and try to get it, and they don't really hit him. Kind of inconsequential contact there, and he fell down. But you know what? You don't need your wrist to kick. Doesn't matter. Tape it up.
That would be Jay Feely dropping the kicker smack.
I had a good talk with him prior to the game.
Velasquez boots it out the back of the end zone. That's touched back to the 25. Here's Hogarth getting hurt. Oh, okay. Wow.
I guess he took a foot to the wrist right there.
Ouch.
They didn't throw a flag.
No. That's not the usual roughing the kicker type penalty you see.
No, normally you're
Still
getting hit on that
hurts.
plant leg. Or
Right. Ouch.
if he wasn't able to kick, Velasquez is their other kicker and the punter. He's one of the punters. They have two, Velasquez and Skillen.
Not taking a knee. Vanderwall screen to the outside, so into the hands of Ismail. Use the timeout. So the Cowboys get it at the 25. You're down 24-0. They're going to try and score before the end of the half.
And then they're going to have to go downfield. I talked about on the last drive, you're just trying to put something together offensively that you can go into the locker room at halftime and talk to your guys and have something positive to talk about. If you could get down the field and try to get a field goal, you are at 72,000 feet.
Or 7,220.
7,200 feet, yeah. What did I say, 72,000? That'd be nice to kick that.
Well, the Broncos haven't needed a whole lot of help because they've been dominant, but that was the opening series where Logan Wilson gets that flag. Broncos go on to score a touchdown, and there's that bobble, and then the block.
When you're trying to upset a team that's as explosive offensively as Boise State, you have to be perfect. You can't allow them any extra possessions.
Cowboys need about 35 yards to get into field goal range at 7,220 feet. Vanderwall dragging over the middle. That's caught again. That is Ismail again. And yes, Raheem Ismail Jr. Cisco Community College after 1 year TCU. Dad
Quickly get to the line here.
Irish.
Clock stops, spike it, good job. Save those timeouts.
Including if you can hit a big one, you have at least a timeout left to get your kicker on the field.
Yeah, 20 yards or so to give yourself any kind of chance at kicking a field goal. Cooper Roth, their kicker, 6 for 6. He made a 51-yarder against Missouri. Whenever I played in Denver, we'd go back as far as we could in warm-ups. And that's mile high. You're a couple thousand more feet here. I usually said 10 yards or so it helped you when you kicked at that level. So trying to get that ball down to the 40-yard, you still have 2 timeouts.
Vanderwall, pressure off the edge. Vanderwall will take a sack, and that will likely be the exclamation point for Boise State. DeAndre Pierce, the junior, Long Beach Poly. Dad Antonio, now Arizona State assistant after 9 NFL seasons. DeAndre, big sack.
Just brought him on a corner blitz. He was lined up on the slot receiver and explodes into the backfield. And nothing positive for Craig Bowl and his staff to go in and talk to his offense and defense about. But this is a tough group. They're tough players. That's the kind of players they have to recruit here. You got to go in. If you can't make a play, I don't think at 3rd and 19 you're going to try to get aggressive, but I guess why not go downfield?
They do use the timeout to at least think about it, but you're 17 seconds, just took a sack.
So now you need 30 yards to give yourself a chance. You're hoping maybe for a penalty or a completion.
That's where the Cowboys are. They're hoping for a miracle to get
You got to be
points on the
careful
board.
not to get a sack, fumble, and give Boise State the opportunity to score again.
Vanderwall pressured, rolling. He's going to heave it over the middle. It's across the 50. Clock stops temporarily to move the chains. You do have the one timeout. It's a 22-yard gain. Pierce makes the stop. Wyoming uses the last timeout here. So with 10 seconds, rather than hurrying up and spiking it, use the last timeout.
I would have hurried up and spiked it there and kept the timeout. The clock stops in college. You got a first down as they move the sticks, so you have time to hustle your offense up and line up as soon as they wind it, snap it, and spike it like they did on the previous play there, on the previous first down. Then you have the timeout to be able to complete something. Now you have to get the first down and hurry it to the line and spike it.
If you're trying to get to the 35, which would make it a 52-yard field goal for Roth, it would give you the first down. But, I mean, you're maybe hoping for a deep out to the sideline to stop the clock. We'll see. Well, that's how thoroughly Boise State has dominated this first half. It's 24-0. Wyoming is hoping for
anything that they could go into halftime and talk about in a positive manner.
So 14 yards, 10 seconds, no timeouts. And then potentially trying a field goal. Of course, they take.
Yeah, you talked about a deep route right there. Past the sticks.
Vanderwall pressured, escapes the first rush. It's incomplete. 5 seconds. Situation the same.
So now you have to throw a Hail Mary. Now you're not thinking about the field goal at all. Your quarterback has plenty strong enough arm. You're going to overload probably 3 wide to one side and throw a Hail Mary and hope your guys can come down with it.
Craig Bowl in Wyoming, they felt like coming out of the bye week and getting Nico Evans and Austin Ford and a lot of guys healthy that they would come out and play better, even against Boise State. Not the case in the first half.
They thought that they'd be able to run the ball. They have -9 yards rushing in the first half.
5 seconds, Vanderwall will take the sack, and that is how the first half ends. Jabril Frazier ends a dominant first half by Boise State. The opening drive, they were stopped. Penalty allowed the Broncos to keep on rolling. They took it into the end zone to go up 7-0, and now at the half, 24-0 Boise State on Wyoming. Game that began with question marks about air quality. Well, we're underway, halfway through, and it is all Broncos on the Cowboys. Getting set for the second half here in Laramie. One of the questions was how Boise State would bounce back from a loss at Stillwater 2 weeks ago, off week. I would say the Broncos have bounced back. Carter Blackburn, Jay Feely, John Schriffen on the sideline. Boise State handled business in the first half.
They certainly did. Dominant performance offensively, defensively, on special teams. Really everything went their way, and it all started with their quarterback Brett Rippon and how well he played. He's played this way basically flawless throughout the season. 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just throwing the ball well. Watch right here where he puts this ball, lays it in there, and has a small window, leads his receiver open, which he does so well. You're going to see the safety and the corner converging here. And he's got about 3 yards to put it in there. And his receiver Richardson made an excellent catch, but he has played as well as you could ask him to play, continues to get better. He's watching his draft stock continue to rise with each throw in each game.
First half stats brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Wyoming was hanging their cowboy hat on the ability to run the football. -15 is how you get to 24-0 at the break.
Yeah, that's no good right there. Not when you got your captain running back, Nico Evans, back. You felt like you could run the ball. You said to your team, we have to run for 150 yards to be in this game. They got to find a way in a hurry. This first drive is important to try to get down the field, get points, somehow get back in the game. And then defensively, they got to get some turnovers.
They like to say around here, the world needs more Cowboys. I think the Cowboys need more Cowboys. Joel Velasquez is battling an injury himself.
A finger injury. He's a kicker, though. He'll be all right.
Touchback. Let's check with John.
Guys, I want to give you an update on the air quality situation. At one point in the second quarter, it appeared like the air quality was getting slightly better, but it seems like the winds have shifted and the air quality has gotten significantly worse. Did have a chance to speak to both coaches about it. They told me they haven't noticed an impact on their players. However, standing here on the sideline, I can see the ash does continue to fall down. It appears like snow flurries at times, and it does feel like the air quality is getting slightly worse, guys.
Exactly, John. We will. Hopefully that shows up on your television, but it is visually noticeable.
Well, our thoughts go out to any families affected too by the fire.
On 1st and 10 from the 25, Nico Evans breaks it. Take away that minus in the rush yards for the Cowboys, because Evans 75 yards on the first play of the second half. Wyoming finally on the board. The captain, back from a rib injury, hopes to give the Cowboys a spark in a comeback effort.
That is exactly what they needed, Carter, to get back in this game. They could do nothing right in the first half, and Nico Evans gets them on the board. And now it's a ball game. Now your team's got confidence. Now they're feeling good about themselves. They had nothing to feel good about themselves in the first half. But Nico Evans, watch the cutback here. There's going to be a lane to this backside. You're going to see him come up, stutter, and then cut back. A little counter. Credit Nico Evans seeing it. There's a little stutter, good vision, and then he has the ability and the speed. He lost weight this offseason to get faster. The coaches told him in the offseason, look, if you want to be our every down back, you got to get stronger and you got to get faster. He got stronger, but he lost weight to add speed. You could see it on that play right there. And boy, if they could have drawn it up inside at halftime, they wouldn't have even had the thought process to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come out, we're going to hit one for a touchdown. The first play of the second half, 75-yard run by Nico Evans. That gets you excited, partner?
Oh, man. So 73 yards of offense in the first half for the Wyoming Cowboys. That one goes 75 yards. So you've already bettered your first half offensive production. I had a chance to visit with Nico yesterday. He said as far as getting more explosive and better shape, it wasn't just a weight room. It was running the stands. It was all sorts of drills on the field. And he is indeed a highfalutin, rootin' tootin' son of a gun from old Wyoming. High tower near the 20.
Poor decision. I mean, that was 5 yards deep into the end zone. He brings it out.
As we talk about the air quality situation, the fires are to the south and southwest near the Colorado-Wyoming border. So we're talking about it in the context of a football game and air quality and whether this game can continue, but it is unfortunately, it is becoming a much more regular fact of life in the West.
So you live out in the West, I live in Arizona. You know, you've seen that. Not only the families affected, their homes, but also the firemen and their families trying to go and put them out.
Brett Rippon in the Bronco offense. First touch of the second half. Fling it to the outside. Complete. Find the edge. That's a Killian Butler. Tackled by Tyler Hall. Getting him out of bounds. That's pretty good. 192 in the second quarter. Now, when you put up 818 versus UConn, that 514 in the first half versus UConn. I mean, when you can put up those kinds of numbers and you're not even touching what your biggest offensive output of the year is, good.
And this is not a poor defense that Wyoming has. They give up 233 a game through the air. Brett Rippon's already got 220.
On 2nd and 7. Rippon. Time to throw. Downfield, incomplete. Off the hands of C.T. Thomas.
Yeah, he'll want that one back. That was an easy catch. It was an excellent throw by Rippon. Right where his receiver wanted it. And if he catches this, he's going to have a really big play because he's got open field in front of him. Just right through his hands.
And now 3rd and 7. If the Cowboys are going to have a chance against the Broncos, an opening touchdown, 75-yard touchdown run, and a chance to get Boise State off the field 3 and out, if you can stop them here.
38 takeaways last year. Desperately need one now in this game to try and get back in it.
On 3rd and 7, Rippon hit as he throws, complete to the outside, circling back back to get the first down. Monster, he made the grab, went the wrong direction and came back to move the chains.
Rippon took a big hit from his blind side. Coming on the edge on the blitz, delayed blitz, which is what Boise State struggled with. That was Wingard. We talked about him in the open, over 400 tackles in his career. Oklahoma State continued to delay blitz, and Boise's offensive line had a hard time picking it up.
Wingard out of the game now for 1st and 10. Handoff Mahone. Mahone pushes ahead. Tackled by Halliburton, but Mahone delivered a blow for a positive gain on 1st down. Rippon, the senior from Spokane, Washington, Shadle Park High School.
This kid is all about football, loves to let it rip. He's not scared at all. My kind of quarterback, Carter. Smart, decisive, and fearless and tough. Just keeps taking hits, gets up, keeps slinging it.
11 TDs against 0 INTs now on the year. Robert Mahone pushing just shy of a 1st down. Logan Wilson on the stop. 3rd and short coming for Boise State. It was 24-0 at the half. A 75-yard touchdown run by Nico Evans. And there is a Cowboy down right now. It's Victor Jones, the redshirt freshman defensive end, who's down for Wyoming prior to 3rd and 1.
You see right in the middle of your screen as this rolls, there's Victor Jones coming into the screen. He just goes to make the tackle. Something happens at the bottom of the pile there. Good to see him get up and walking off.
Third and 1. Wingard is back in the game for Wyoming.
Done quarterback sneak twice.
Here it is again, and with a good push, that's 1st down. The spots have been kind of funky tonight, but that'll be enough for a 1st down. Move the chains.
Each time they've gone with the quarterback sneak, they've gone to the left side of that offensive line, the strength of their offensive line. You know, the best guy of that offensive line is Ezra Cleveland, their left tackle. He's going to play in the NFL. Continues to get better, only a sophomore.
Alexander Mattison is in the backfield. Fake it, Rippon. Rips it, deep ball, Monster, incomplete, and Monster takes a pop from Wingard over the middle.
Kind of odd, he never even looked up at that ball. It was almost like he was looking at Wingard. He could have made a play and caught that ball. Watch at the end, watch Monster's eyes and his head. Beautiful throw by Rippon, it's right there. And he doesn't really go for that ball. He doesn't put his hands up and go after it. You thought, it's right there.
That was an Andrew Wingard effect, perhaps. Look over and see those flowing locks coming at you for a guy who has now over 400 career tackles. Mountain West Conference preseason defensive player of the year for the 2nd straight year. 8th play of the drive. Rippon on the roll. On 2nd down, flings it complete. Monster makes the grab, short gain. 3rd down again, and another opportunity for the Cowboys to capitalize on some momentum.
The Cowboys need Granderson to get going here. They need him to make a play. Number 91, their defensive end, had a couple plays in the 1st half where he got some good hits on Rippon. 1st team all-conference last year. This is where Boise State has struggled. Right here off this edge, trying to get Granderson. Get a play on Rippon when you know he's going to throw it. 3rd and long.
They barely get the play off. Rippon on the roll. On 3rd and 10. Fires downfield. Caught A.J. Richardson with another terrific catch for the Broncos.
Right side of that offensive line does a good job. They double team Granderson there. Look at that catch. Excellent job by Richardson.
Richardson, Hightower, Monster have all made terrific grabs.
The ruling on the field is a catch in bounds. That ruling is under further review.
Slowing Boise State as we'll take another look. DeAnderson and his replay crew. Okay.
So he catches it, brings it into his chest. Now, does he complete the catch as he's going down? Feet are definitely in bounds. He's got the ball there. I don't see anything.
Well, maybe the second foot was out of bounds means the first foot is the critical one here. You have possession with the 1 foot. Richardson stretches out. Possession.
There's the catch.
There's a foot in bounds.
There's the foot.
It's just that second foot out of bounds, but he had a foot in bounds.
Doesn't matter, right?
If that stands, it is the 5th catch of 15+ yards by A.J. Richardson.
When his left foot hits, watch this, it's a yard in bounds right here. He has the ball, he has control. That foot is down and in bounds. That foot's out, but he already has control of the ball, and that left foot is down.
If it stands, gain of 25.
After further review, the ruling of a completed catch stands. First down.
And remember, we were talking about Boise State facing 3rd down after a touchdown. Cowboys had a chance to get him 3 and out, get the football, maybe put a little pressure on the Broncos. Well, Boise State, now 10th play of the drive, marched it down to the Cowboys 35 again. Rippon pumps, airs it, long, almost picked, nearly picked off by Marcus Epps. Rippon gets away with one.
This is the play you have to make. Marcus Epps, he's got 9 interceptions in his career. I think Monster getting the hand in there at the last moment, kind of getting a little piece of that ball, kept Epps from making that play. You and I talked about at the beginning of the game, Epps and Wingard would have opportunities to make plays, and they'd have to make them. That's a play right there that can turn the game around. You got the play on offense, you got a chance at a pick, and you don't make it.
Shakir gets the handoff. He's in the backfield, gets a couple. That was almost the first interception of the year by Mark Rippon. Mentioned a couple of times he didn't throw one against him. I said, Mark, it's Brett Rippon.
Mark's his uncle, right? I did that once in the last game
right
as well.
So for Brett, who went all the Mountain West Conference here last year without throwing a pick.
And now you got 3rd and long again. So you've had opportunities to get off the field at Wyoming. You're on the verge of field goal range. We don't really know exactly how Hayden Hogarth is. He got hurt at the end of the first half.
Brett Rippon, complete. First down, Boise State. Monster and the Broncos convert again near the 20. That one goes for 11.
Continuing to have success on 3rd down. Now 9 for 14 on 3rd down. Boise State. Monster just sits down right there, finds the window, goes back behind the first down, but comes back up and gets it. Really, the difference has been on 3rd down. 9 for 14 for Boise State. Wyoming only 1 for 6 on the day.
Madison takes the handoff, trying to bounce outside. Nice stiff arm. He takes a big pop after he gets 2. Madison shiftiness on the outside as well.
This defense has continued to fight. They haven't quit. They haven't given up. Boise State put up a bunch of points and a bunch of yards in the first half, but they're continuing to grind. And really, that's the MO of this team and the way they recruit. It's a certain kind of player that you have to have. Craig Bull knows that. It's a culture here at Wyoming, not a system program.
Chase Cord at quarterback now on the 14th play of the drive. Wrinkle for the Broncos. Cord, keeper. Cord inside the 20, delivering a pop as he takes it to the 16. 3rd down coming, and here's Cord looks like Nope, he's coming out.
This is what they did with Montel Kozar. I just don't like it. I don't like in the red zone taking Brett Rippon out of the game. Even though you have a good running quarterback, keep the guy who's the best player on your team, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, keep him in the game and in rhythm.
And yet it's Rippon back out there for 3rd and 3 with Mahone in the backfield. They've converted 4 times on 3rd down on this drive already. And Boise State will use a timeout here.
Timeout. Boise State, their first.
15th play of the drive for the Broncos.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. By CDW, making IT solutions work for you. It's IT orchestration by CDW. CDW, people who get it. And by over 6,000 independent craft breweries, turning the beer world upside down one glass at a time.
Out of this timeout, Boise State has another 3rd down. This is the 5th 3rd down they have faced on this drive. They've converted on the previous 4. It is a 14-play drive already. This is the second 15-play drive they've had tonight. On 3rd and 3, fake it, Rippon pumps. Rippon to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Modster. Step for step right there with Blake and Baker. And the field goal unit will come on for Boise State.
Excellent job by the defense for Wyoming. Rippon wanted to go to Richardson. They had 4 defenders around him. He tried to go back across to Modster. The play action didn't work, and you force a field goal. Here's Hayden Hogarth, who got injured a little bit. You see a little tape on his right hand there. Matching right hand injuries for their kickers.
Playing through it. Toughness from the kicking position, right?
I like it.
33-yard attempt. Just to get the hold down. And Hogarth's kick is good to make it 27-7. 3 more points on the board. And Laramie.
Josh Allen did so much for us. He's an ultra-competitive guy, instilled confidence.
Josh Allen, he did a lot for our program. Basically putting Wyoming on the map, being the face of the franchise.
The guy that will give, the shirt off his back for his teammate, and someone who's going to give all he has and more for the team.
CBS's Super Bowl season continues with a great doubleheader in the early games. Josh Allen and the Bills held to Lambeau to take on the Packers. The undefeated Dolphins visit New England, and Drew Brees and the Saints into New York to battle Eli and the Giants. The day kicks off with the NFL Today presented by Jeep at 12 Eastern. Josh Allen's making them believers in Buffalo. They're believers in Laramie already, that's for sure.
It's a big game in New England as well. Miami, they win that game. After 4 games, they'll have a 3.5 game lead effectively on New England.
Kickoff from Velasquez. That'll be a touchback, and we get to check in with Brent.
All right, Carter, 27-7 there. A little tighter in Happy Valley, 13-0. Perfect screen set up by Ohio State. J.K. Dobbins to the end zone. Halftime, 13-7. Penn State, they lead the Buckeyes.
What do you expect out of that one?
I thought Ohio State and what they've done offensively would have the edge in that game. I still think they're going to come back and win that game, but Penn State doing an excellent job containing that high-power offense.
Big touchdown last time Cowboys had it. Their only touchdown. 75-yard run. They get it at the 25 again.
Basically the same play.
Right. Try Nico again. Let's check in with John.
Well, guys, what's so impressive about Nico Evans is that in his first 3 seasons, he didn't really get many touches at running back. So this January, he went to the coaching staff and asked them, what do I need to do to get more playing time? And they basically told him, you got to get faster and you got to get stronger. So he checked in with the new strength coach, Ben Anakioni. He came from LSU. He actually played at Boise State as an offensive lineman, and he really worked with Nico on his agility, getting stronger. And head coach Craig Bohl says it's impressive. He was elected a captain this year, and NFL scouts are actually starting to ask about him.
And that's really the incredible part, John. I mean, a player development program, Nico Evans is part and parcel. That pass is complete. Mayfield has it, first down. How much fun was he been yesterday with his family? His son drawing another tattoo on his hand. It was great.
That was great. He's a big dude himself, and you understand when you come here, you take this job as Craig Bohl, coming from North Dakota State, you're going to have to get players that you develop. You're not getting ready-made players to come out here to Wyoming. You got to get guys, you got to look and evaluate. Josh Allen wasn't a ready-made player. Nobody recruited him really except for Wyoming. You know, so you have to understand that development is a huge part of the process.
Wyoming had to look at Josh Allen after Eric Dungey decided to go to Syracuse. There is a tackle for loss by Curtis Weaver. But yes, Nico Evans kind of epitomizes what Wyoming wants their football team to be like. Guys who get in the weight room, develop.
Hard work,
and
unselfish, unsung. You know, so cool to see a guy like that be rewarded by being named captain by his teammates. There's no greater honor as a football player that you can get than your teammates determine, hey, you should be the one of the guys that are our leaders.
And forget about your name on the back of the jersey, too. It's just Wyoming on the front.
Which is perfect with Craig Bohl.
Watson lead blocker at fullback. Evans is shoved back. Maeva and Riley Wimpy up the middle. Tackle for loss to force 3rd and long.
Maeva's had a big night. That's his 7th tackle. Another tackle for a loss. See him just fill that gap and get in there. Make the tackle. Now, so far in the game, Wyoming struggling on 3rd down. 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Their average yards to go on 3rd down is 13 yards. Again, almost the same thing here, 3rd and long. Not what this team can do. They're a team that wants to be ahead in the sticks, and they struggle when they're in 3rd and long.
The Broncos have 6 tackles for losses to put them behind the sticks. Vanderwall chased again, dumps it incomplete. Valladay was in the backfield, more pressure coming. And you name it, the Broncos have been in Vanderwall's face.
Well, just continuing to bring pressure, a little stunt inside. The ability to get pressure on Vanderwall, not allow him to make any kind of play downfield. Block punt now for Wyoming and a drop punt. They struggled in special teams.
Zaleski gets it off, got a flag down. Shakir lets it bounce inside the 20, but we'll check that flag back at the line of scrimmage. I wanted to get John's story about talking with Nico Evans about the contrast between LA and Laramie, but we still got time.
Little bit of difference living in LA and coming here to Wyoming.
During the kick, holding number 9 on the return team. Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Well, Boise State is backed up again, but that hadn't been much of a hindrance for the Broncos tonight. San Bernardino's own Alexander Mattison. Tonight's player profile brought to you by Corona Premier.
This is the big stat right there. 8-0 all time when he rushes for 70 yards. Got 41 tonight. Had a nice run on the touchdown run.
Averaging,
great tradition of backs here. Doug Martin, Jay Ajayi, Jeremy McNichols.
He rushed for nearly 1,100 last year. 9 straight seasons Boise State has had a 1,000-yard back. And here goes Madison. Wingard there to bring him down, wrestle him down.
It's really a complete back, too. You know, big physical back, 211 pounds, good balance, a good blocker, 28 receptions coming out of the backfield last year, so he can catch the ball, can kind of do everything well.
Averaging nearly 6 yards a carry coming into tonight. Rippin zips it complete to the outside. That's Octavius Evans, the sophomore from Center, Texas, brought down by Blankenbaker, but yet again the Broncos backed up. Yet again they're moving the chains.
Brett was going there all the time. They showed press coverage and bailed. It's a little comeback. Just get past the sticks, turn around. Quarterback puts it in the right spot. Easy completion, first down.
Evans limps back to the sideline a bit for the Broncos. They have a very deep receiving core. Ripping 1st and 10. Pitch and catch. Modster on the outside. Modster shakes his way. Another gain of 10+ through the air.
You said they have a deep receiving core. 10 different offensive players have scored a touchdown so far. That's 6 in the FBS. Ohio State is first. Same kind of route as the other side. Modster runs it, comes back, catches the ball. With Shakir's touchdown, that makes 11 different players scoring a touchdown this year.
Chase Cord's back in at quarterback. 1st and 10. Hightower in motion. Fake it. Cord keeps it. Cord barrels across the 40-yard line. Wingard on the stop again. Chase Cord, the redshirt freshman, Peoria, Arizona, had a touchdown pass late versus UConn in the absolute rout by the Broncos over the Huskies. Cord 1 and done, 6-yard gain. Ripping back in. Broncos appear to be in the 4-minute offense in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they can stretch the field in a hurry.
Here's Mahone on the counter across the 45, across the 50, across the Wyoming 45 before Antonio Hull finally brings him down. Gain of 12.
They're going to pull a couple of guards to the left and a tight end. They just keep churning your feet. Getting about an extra 10 yards after the initial contact.
And then Mahone is in there along with Madison for 1st and 10. Madison takes it with Mahone blocking for him on the left side. Wingard again on the stop. Gain of a couple. Wingard's going to be an NFL player.
He certainly is. He can do everything. He's got good hands, makes plays in the backfield, career 9 interceptions, over 400 tackles. You can see him being an excellent special teams player, especially now as the NFL goes to these safeties that come down, play linebackers. They're in the box. A lot of these hybrid roles where spread concepts are coming into the NFL.
Ripping hands. Mahone brought down. I mean, we talked yesterday with Scotty Hazelton, defensive coordinator for Wyoming, and said, you know, we used to ask about your nickel sub package, and now he's like, right, it's just nickel base. I mean, that's basically what
it was called, like the Sam
to.
linebacker,
right.
And now it's just a nickel back.
Right, so you're 4.25 now, 407 tackles. Wingard's career, again, 20 years of Mountain West Conference football, and he's established himself as one of the greats. And you go back to that, there was Scotty Hazelton telling us when he showed up at our camp, and just the speed. We said, we'll find a place to play this guy. We're not sure exactly what position, but just the quickness. Ripping, that looked like a weird snap on 3rd down. And somehow the Cowboys come up with a stop on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a huge stop for them to get the ball back and try and go down and score.
No, this is officially going to be a sack, the first sack of the game.
Rippon was not ready for that snap.
Well, give Carl Granderson his first sack of the year in bizarre fashion. He had 8.5 last year, and that is credited as Granderson's first. Conway calling for a fair catch. Grabs it at the 12-yard line. Wyoming needs to get something done right now. Broncos 27, Cowboys 7 nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Monday night, 6 Eastern, join CBS Sports Network as our team of NFL experts break down all the Week 4 action exclusively from a quarterback's perspective. You know they're going to be talking about Josh Allen of the Bills against the Packers one way or the other. Don't miss NFL Monday Quarterback in the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And now let's take a look at our pound for pound, brought to you by Rogue Fitness, the Studley Jabril Frazier.
Velociraptors, that's what they call the stud position. 3 tackles tonight, a sack, a couple of tackles for a loss. Here's the sack.
Now Wyoming, a lone score was on a 75-yard touchdown run at the beginning of the third quarter. First play of the third quarter. Full start coming out of the timeout.
False start, number 84, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Just nothing doing for the Wyoming offense, save for the one run from Nico Evans.
Yeah, as their tight end, they lined up with two tight ends, one on each side. Can't afford those kind of mistakes. Set yourself back. Now it's 1st and 15.
Vanderwall hands to Evans. He finds a seam across the 15. Here goes Evans again across the 25. Evans pushing the Broncos, pulling them all the way out to the 38-yard line. Nico Evans, a gain of 31 this time.
It's the same play the other way that he scored the touchdown on. Started behind your right guard and then a little counter cutback. Good job opening the field by the offensive line, and Nico Evans getting positive yards, and they got a play that's working right now.
This is what the Cowboys thought they would get early in the run game. Instead, it was negative rush yards at the half. Now 135 in the game for Nico Evans. Of course, feed it to him again. Gain of only a couple. Oh, no, it's Bigelow. Thank you. Bigelow, the true freshman who's coming back from a concussion, so he benefited from the bye week as well.
Talented, big, true freshman. Had a big fumble against Missouri in that game when it was still close.
True freshman from Fresno Central High School. Vanderwall, the redshirt freshman quarterback. Bigelow takes it again. Bigelow stood up, driven back. Got 3 more, but now you're 3rd down again. Maeva leads the Bronco defense.
We asked Craig Bowl, you know, was this a decision at the quarterback position that was made for the future in mind? Is that part of it? He said, really no. Like, he just won the job in the fall and in the spring. Felt he could do more with the football. Instinctive, could improvise. 11 for 16, only 98 yards so far for Tyler Vanderwall.
Got 3rd and manageable here after it started inside their own 10. Vanderwall on 3rd and 4. He's pressured. There's a flag down, but he is sacked by Curtis Weaver. The defensive line for Boise State has just been dominant.
Holding, number 78, offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Vanderwall is slow getting up.
Well, I talked about this before. He missed 4 in the first half. Watch out here. You're going to see an out, and he's open if Vanderwall throw this ball on time. Right there, number 80, James Price, was open. He wasn't able to get the ball off, had pressure. But I think if he throws it in rhythm on time, that's a play that could have been completed.
I mean, if Wyoming had any chance to come back, I mean, still a 3-touchdown game. If we learned anything, nothing is over until it's finally over. But that was a big 3rd down if they were going to put some pressure on the Broncos headed into the 4th. Instead, Zaleski punting again. Shakir is back. Shakir makes the grab. Shakir is in reverse. He's headed the wrong direction. Finds the corner, brings it back to the 30. There's a late flag down. 0's on the clock at the end of the 3rd. So Shakir manages to make something out of that. I'm sure it'll be a coaching point for the Broncos.
Well, first mistake was during the return. They got up the field and didn't keep contained. As you're coming down on special teams, you know you have to make an inside shoulder tackle when you're coming out the edge. Shakir has a lot of speed, and you allow him to bounce and get outside.
It's been a rough night for the kicking.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 40 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. It will be 1st down. The quarter will be extended for 1 untimed down due to the accepted penalty.
And that's Tim Zaleski, and you can see in the back of your screen there's Zaleski, the punter, is now requiring help from the training staff.
And it was a non-contact injury. He was trying to go make the tackle, and he just collapsed as he tried to go back. It's been a tough night for Tim Zaleski.
It's been a tough night for punters and kickers.
You're going to see right here, he comes into the screen right there, 27.
Ooh.
Hopefully he's okay, but anytime you see those non-contact injuries, you don't like to see that.
We're wishing Tim Zaleski the best. Again, the penalty had nothing to do with that injury.
No, it was a block in the back. It was on Jabari Watson.
So untimed down, Madison. That's a tackle for loss to end the third quarter. So Gaffon brings down Madison to end the third. On to the fourth. Old Boise State, can the Broncos close it out? The 75-yard sprint to the end zone for Wyoming on the first play of the third quarter by Nico Evans, by far the highlight. Only score. Cowboys actually outgained the Broncos in the third quarter. Small concession.
Well, and they outscored them 7-3. A much better quarter for Wyoming. They need a stop. They really need a turnover. Haven't gotten one yet in this game.
It led the FBS last year in takeaways, 6th this year. Rick Bull said they needed to be +2 in the turnovers tonight. Hasn't happened. Rippon, play action. Rippon to Madison on second down. Madison goes dancing across the 25 after contact, pushing, stretching, and getting near another first down. I mean, Madison earned that one almost all by himself.
Rippon looking deep. It's not there. Smart quarterback play. Goes to his check down. And then it's all Madison. Making moves, being physical. Get the first down.
Gain of 13 there for Alexander Madison. Ripping over 300 yards, hands to Madison. Gets maybe a couple. We check in with John.
Well, some unfortunate news for Wyoming. The punter, Tim Zaleski, had to be helped into the medical tent by 2 people. He just emerged from that tent, clearly hobbling. It does not appear like he is going back in. It looks like Ryan Galovich will be the new punter for Wyoming.
Junior from Oregon. Tough when you see those non-contact injuries. You hope it's not an ACL. I dealt with that last year with my daughter, and those are hard to get over.
Prior to second down.
Timeout. Wyoming, their first. It will be 30 seconds.
So we'll stop it down here again at 27-7.
You kind of mentioned it, Carter, at the beginning of the third quarter. They kind of gone into 4-minute mode early, and that's really what you feel. They stopped pushing the ball down the field, taking shots, running the ball a lot more, grinding out the clock, kind of feeling like, okay, Wyoming hit the one big play for the touchdown, but other than that, they haven't been able to move the ball, feeling in control, trying to use up as much clock as possible.
So out of the defensive timeout, 2nd and 8. Robert Mahone, the sophomore, in the backfield with Rippon. Second and 8, incomplete. Through the hands of Shakir on the outside with Tyler Hull, the nickel in coverage.
Couple of drops for Rippon's receivers tonight. A couple balls that should have been caught went right through the receiver's hands. He's throwing the ball really well. There was one opportunity. Epps had one opportunity in the second quarter to come across and make a play and intercept a ball. You don't get a lot of chances with Brett Rippon, though.
You think Brett Rippon's an NFL quarterback?
Absolutely, without question. He's got the size, 6'2", 202. He's smart. He anticipates, understands offensive and defensive so well, and goes through his progressions.
you'd like to have in your quarterback room.
Yeah, I love it.
3rd and 8. On the roll, ripping downfield for Richardson, incomplete. Richardson couldn't haul this one in. Granderson got the pressure, and Pownell Jr. there in coverage to force a Boise State punt.
You asked me if he's an NFL quarterback. The guy he reminds me of is Tom Brady, because he anticipates so well, understands defenses so well, puts the ball in the right place, takes the checkdowns if they're there, all the right decisions that you want and the accuracy that you want.
You heard it here first from Jay Feely. The next greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League is Brett Rippon.
Well, I didn't even know Tom Brady was going to be that good. So what do I know?
Tom didn't know. You know all about it. Oh, Quinn Skilling, Conway to the 29. We'll hear in a moment how Jay Feely nearly became a Wyoming Cowboy. Boise State hoping to re-enter the AP Top 25. Still ranked in the coaches as we take a look at the AP poll powered by Ram Truck. What stands out?
Big comeback there for Clemson. Thought the whole game looked like Syracuse was going to win that game. Penn State still beating Ohio State. Or Ohio State, I'm sorry, is beating Penn State now 14-13. And Stanford trailing Notre Dame 24-14. Big implications on those games. Ohio State, Penn State, Stanford, Notre Dame. Not just on the Big Ten in that game, but when you look at the end of the season and those final 4 teams and who's going to be there, especially that Stanford-Notre Dame game.
Carter Blackburn, Jay Feely, John Schriffen, our producer Scott Brandwine, director Matt Plundo, entire crew here from Laramie, Wyoming, War Memorial Stadium. Broncos have taken care of business. Now 13:33 away from the win. Vanderwall on the roll on first down. That's how it's going all night for Vanderwall. And the pressure there coming from Locker. Now I teased it going to break, but you know, fun fact about Jay Feely. You took a recruiting visit to Laramie.
I did. Now here I was in Tampa, Florida, playing football in Tampa, Florida. I took a trip to Michigan and Notre Dame and Wyoming. Came out here, they picked me up, they took me to a mountain, gave me a snowmobile, and we cruised around. It was great. Talked to Craig Bowl about that a little bit and had some fun laughing. I had an absolute blast.
And that was Joe Tiller's staff, right?
Correct, it was.
The late great Joe Tiller. Remembered very fondly around Wyoming. So the snowmobile recruiting trip, I love that. Vanderwall, deep shot, incomplete. So literally it was just part of your recruiting trip and you...
Yeah, you know, you do fun things. You try to create events that are memorable.
Obviously it was memorable.
You know, I had snowmobile before, so I was comfortable. So I was zipping all over. I didn't even want to leave. I just wanted to stay out there the whole time.
How did you have previous snowmobiling experience?
Well, I didn't live in Florida my whole life. I grew up, I was born up in Minnesota. So.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Craig Bowl, Lincoln, Nebraska. He actually called in Tom Osborne for one huge recruiting job here at Wyoming. Wyoming Governor Matt Mead, big Nebraska fan, so before a big push to get facilities built here at Wyoming, they got on the plane and went to Lincoln, Nebraska with AD Tom Berman. To the outside, Ismail. Rahib Ismail Jr., Rocket's son. DeAndre Pierce, Antonio's son, on the tackle.
Antonio Pierce now at Arizona State as one of their coaches there under Herm Edwards. I played with Antonio at the Giants, a great physical, tough linebacker. New punter here.
Ryan Galovich, because of the injury to Tim Zaleski, suffered on the last punt. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of punting oddities tonight.
And problems for Wyoming.
Oh, and now a little chippy, quickly separated. That's a 35-yard punt.
We got to look at those facilities. You were talking about them, Carter, and how important they are. When you bring recruits in here, and they have one of the best facilities in the country, absolutely beautiful. It goes a long way to getting recruits. It's been a tough night tonight. Boise up 27-7.
Boise State, they haven't lost a conference opener since 1999 in the Big West. Looking like that streak will Stay alive. Friday night, 7:30 Eastern, Conference USA clash. Marshall Thundering Herd hosts the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders right here on CBS Sports Network. Big year for Conference USA so far. Old Dominion over Virginia Tech.
You did that game.
North Texas.
It's a big
huge
win.
wins.
That's the upset of the year so far.
Oh, yeah. Lots of fun. Brett Rippon has gone over 11,000, so he's the active career passing yards leader. Brent Stockstill at Middle Tennessee going up against Marshall. He is number 4. I mean, when you're up on that list, all the numbers are going to be good.
Absolutely. 3 of the best quarterbacks in the country. A lot of great quarterbacks. Will Greer at West Virginia. Kenzie Milton at UCF. Justin Herbert at Oregon.
Brett
McSorley.
Rippon at Boise State.
He was on there. He was on the list, right.
The next Tom Brady, says Jay Feely. Been terrific. Well, his receivers have helped him out a lot, too.
Unbelievable catch there. One-handed and one shoe, and he made the grab.
An even 300 for Brett Rippon. Over 11,000 career passing yards. 3rd all-time Mountain West in the 20-year history of this league. Madison and Van Buren in the backfield. Rippon on the roll on 2nd down. Ooh, big pop. I mean, Rippon got hammered. It was Logan Wilson who laid the lick on Rippon. Granderson finishes it off.
It's not what they want to see at all. At this point in the game, 27-7. You don't want to see your star quarterback taking shots like that.
Give Josiah Hall a little credit there. He didn't get to do the safety dance, but still was able to lay a lick on Brett Rippon.
Logan Wilson had the penalty at the beginning of the game on the first series, but he's had a good night other than that. 9 tackles tonight.
3rd and 6. Rippon complete, but well short of the first down. Modster only gets about 2 on 3rd and 6. Wingert there on the stop to make sure he didn't get any more. 4th down, Boise State. This is now 3 straight drives for the Broncos that have ended in punts.
They just haven't been aggressive. You know, they're content to trust their defense. They don't feel like Wyoming's a threat to them offensively. Grinding the clock, not pressing things. You don't want to see Rippon take a shot like he did, though.
Remember, Conway came out on the last punt return. He is again back there for Wyoming. Skillen hits it high at the 35. Fair catch. It's going to bounce inside the 5. Broncos can't get to it, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line for Quinn Skillen. Bronco football.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. By Corona Premier, lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. And by Go RVing, find your way. Go RVing.
Wouldn't be a trip to Laramie without Pistol Pete in super slow-mo. We love that shot. Love that shot. Cowboy fans, hope to have more to cheer about in this 4th quarter, but they have forced Boise State to punt it again. It is Cowboy football, 1st and 10 from the 20. Conway in motion. I'll give it to Nico Evans. Let's go back and look at Jay's extra points and how both teams did.
No surprise that they're all favoring Boise State. I think they've done a decent job, but the questions have not been answered entirely on that offensive line, but they protected Rippon. Vanderwall hasn't beat him. 86 rushing yards, had to get over 150. Other than the one run by Nico Evans, they haven't had much at all, and no takeaways. Epps had an opportunity on an interception, but it's been a tough night in all 3 phases for this Wyoming team.
Even your punters hurt. Vanderwall pulls it, throws it. Incomplete. Intended for the Rocket Jr., Little Rocket Man. He had the game-winning touchdown catch against Wofford last week.
And that was a big drive. They had to go 80 yards on the final drive, 13 plays to get a win. They were beat up. Craig Bolt told us he knew before the game going in it was going to be a battle. They only had 2 healthy running backs in that game. The top 2 were out. Top tight end was out.
Only one third down conversion in the game for Wyoming. Vanderwall steps up. Well, there's another. There's your second third down conversion. And it is Raheem Ismail Jr. Gain at 26.
A couple times Vanderwall's done a good job of sliding up in the pocket, dipping his shoulder, resetting and delivering a ball. Nice move there.
Some moves like that.
They got to find ways to get him the ball more. He's your most dynamic player on offense. Nico Evans runs the ball well when he gets opportunities, but that's the playmaker.
Vanderwall in the roll on first down. Chase sacked again. In his face all night. I mean, all of the Broncos. This is Maeva who finishes it off this time.
And he's had an excellent night for this team. Dropped into coverage initially, and you're going to see him come off this edge right here. Explode up and get the sack, and really give a lot of credit to that secondary, because the secondary did an excellent job. He couldn't get to the backside at all. The secondary did an excellent job on the front side, and you get a coverage sack.
Ooh. 5 sacks, 8 TFLs. Yeah, that's a rocket incomplete. Batted over the middle. It was intended for Conway and Canijo.
If you watch Tyler Vanderwall play all year, you don't question his arm strength at all.
No.
He can rip that ball like anybody else. It's the touch passes. It's putting the ball in the right place at the right time, location. It's not always a fastball. Sometimes you have to take power off of the ball, throw a ball that's catchable for your receivers, throw them into space. He should go back and watch Brett Rippon and see what he does so well and try to implement that into his game.
Here's 3rd and 21. Vanderwall pressured again. Out of the pocket. Over the middle. Complete. Well short of a first down because you were backed into 3rd and 21. Still a nice completion to Conway. 4th down. I mean,
why not go for it, right?
Sure. If you have any chance.
You're down 20. There's 8:30 left in the game. There's no reason.
Craig Bold, 3-time national champ with the Bison. And got a Bronco down on the field. It's Curtis Weaver, the sophomore from Long Beach St. Anthony, who's down.
And they don't want to lose him. That's a guy right there who plays that stud position like Jabril Frazier. First team all-conference last year as well. Right there trying to make a sack on the quarterback. It's kind of stepped on.
Ooh.
His inside of his leg. This guy who had 11 sacks last year and didn't start.
Right. Well, thankfully Weaver back over to the Boise State sideline. He's cheering on his teammates. 4th down.
Bringing pressure.
Vanderwall bobbles it. Manages to get it back. Fling it incomplete. Broncos take over. Conway wanted pass interference. Nothing coming there. Credit Canijo had a couple of nice pass breakups on this trip out for Boise State. Well, the Cowboys hoping a 4th down would give them some kind of a miracle comeback jolt. Instead, just spinning for the Broncos' way. Broncos in control in Laramie, Wyoming. Take a look at tonight's Geico difference makers. Nico Evans has done his part for the Cowboys, including the 75-yard touchdown run. You could pick out a few Broncos to make a Geico difference maker. We've selected A.J. Richardson.
Yeah, Brett Rippon's had a great game. The guy who's been on the receiving end the most, A.J. Richardson. A couple of spectacular grabs, building on what he did against Oklahoma State.
Well, Nico Evans has come back from the rib injury. This was not where he wanted to be in the 4th quarter. They had visions of beating the Broncos as they did here 2 years ago. Game-winning safety. Rippon hands off. Here's Madison. Big hole on the left side. Madison across the 45. Well, we told you about A.J. Richardson. 6 catches of 15-plus tonight.
That's impressive. 6 over 15. You know, they lost Cedric Wilson, who was a 1,500-yard receiver, so they had to have somebody step up. It's going to be by committee, and they're better for that. You know, it's not just one guy that you're looking to all the time. They have a bevy of receivers. They can spread the ball around. That allows your quarterback, who does such a great job deciphering defenses, to just go to the right player.
Talked about Boise State being in a 4-minute offense basically since the third quarter, trying to wind this one out. Now clearly 7:33, you're up by 20 points. You're just trying to milk it.
They're grinding the clock. Run, 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 tick, tick, tick. And then look forward to next week when they play San Diego State.
That is a big one. Now your New Year's 6 possibilities, you've taken.
You took a big hit.
Yeah, you're taking a big hit. You kind of taking it out of your own hands, that loss at Oklahoma State. Credit those Cowboys.
Right, you look around the group of 5, and who could be that team? UCF, USF, possibly Houston, San Diego State, Boise State. Those are the teams that are in the mix. Cincinnati is 5-0 now. They had, you know, they beat UCLA and Ohio. People don't talk about them. That's a team that's in the mix as well.
And the Broncos have rallied before, so I mean, one loss, sometimes it's the sky is falling anytime that the Broncos, especially one like that at Oklahoma State, where you get the 2 punt blocks and you give up 7 sacks. It's not a Boise State-like performance where taking teams down to the wire even.
Now you look at the final score, and it wasn't indicative of that game. They lost 44-21.
Here's Rippon airing it out. Forget about running out the clock. Take it to the end zone. Touchdown, John Hightower on another beautiful throw from Brett Rippon. This one goes for 41.
It's a broken record. You talk about how perfect the balls are. The ability to hit your receiver in stride. He doesn't have to break at all. He can just catch the ball perfectly placed and continue on into the end zone.
Wow. I mean, we've seen Rippon. I mean, obviously, when you put up over 11,000 yards and you're 4-year starter and you have a lot of wins, you've made a lot of great throws. But I would say Rippon as a senior is taking it literally to the next level.
I talked to a number of quarterback, both guys that played in the NFL as well as quarterback coaches today, and they had glowing reports about Brett Rippon and his prospects at the next level, what they think he can do. You see right here on the outside, just going to run a go route, and when you can hit your receiver in stride, watch Brett Rippon, looks him off, goes the other way, finds the right receiver, sees where the safety is in the middle, and just perfect in stride, doesn't break at all, easy catch. That's like pat and go, and you know, when you're throwing before the game in warm-ups.
8 throws of 15 plus now for Rippon. That one goes for 41. He has 342 passing yards in the game. And I'm guessing he's going to get the ball cap and call it a night.
12 touchdowns, no interceptions on the year so far. You know, and you look back to that Oklahoma State game and how bad he got beat up. 7 sacks and got hit even when he was completing passes, not getting sacked, continued to get up, continued to fire downfield and try and bring his team back into the game, and then not making a bad decision or a bad throw and getting it intercepted.
That'll be another touchback for the Cowboys that get it at the 25. You talked about the San Diego State game, so that's one of the favorites in the West, Mountain West Conference West Division, against the favorite in the Mountain Division. Of course, Fresno State will have something to say about that, but that's a big one for the Broncos coming up.
San Diego State beat Arizona State. The only loss for them is a tough loss to Stanford. So you got a big matchup next week at home for Boise State against San Diego State.
All right, now I'm going to start springing trivia on you now because that's where we are at 34-7.
All right, let me have it.
Okay. The Boise State Broncos have never lost a Mountain West Conference opener. They're 7-0. Last time they lost a conference opener was in 1999. Do you know what conference they were in 1999? And for a bonus, which team they lost to? Oh no!
There
oh,
it
no.
is.
Oh,
they just popped it. They gave me the answer.
Oh no, we got the team, but don't have the conference, so you still have an opportunity.
What's the answer? What is it?
The Big West Conference
Big
in
West.
1999. So that's the last time versus
the legendary
North Texas.
Big West.
Well, our production crew is so on it. They anticipated the trivia answer. Vanderwall downfield. That is caught. And here goes a big run for James Price. The Cowboys not done yet tonight. They finally break a big one in the pass game, goes 72 yards. Trivia questions? No, we'll show you a 72-yard TD to keep you interested.
That's a big throw for the freshman. Poor job defensively for Boise State, but not quitting, not giving up, continuing to run your offense. It's a young offense with the freshman quarterback. You got to take every rep, every opportunity you have. Watch here on the backside. You're going to see him just run a little post down the middle of the field. There's no safety help there. Safety comes up and Price just runs right by him.
That's Price's first touchdown of the year, and it's a pretty good one. So your 2 Wyoming touchdowns, a 75-yard run by Nico Evans, and the 72-yard catch and run from James Price.
What they're able to do there with Tyler Vanderbilt was roll him out, play action, roll him out. He's better when he rolls out like that. Ideally, that's what they want to do.
Well, 5:47, maybe the game is out of reach, but you never know.
You're down 20. I mean, if you want to try and get back in it, you pretty much have to kick an onside kick here.
Let's see what Cooper Roth and the Cowboys' Craig Bull does coach the kickers.
Boise has their hands team in.
Kick it deep for a touchback at 25.
And that's one, if you're going to kick it deep, kick it down to the 5-yard line and let it sit there. Hopefully Boise State doesn't go back. They have their hands team in. The returners up at the 15 or so.
I mentioned Craig Bull coaches the kickers. You like that arrangement?
I do. Lloyd Carr did that when I was at Michigan. I think it does 2 things. One, as a kicker in the specialist group, there's an accountability there because your head coach is working with you every day. On the flip side, there's a respect factor that the rest of the team gives that position when they see the head coach working with them on a consistent basis.
It's been a challenging night tonight in the kicking game. Well, we thought Rippon might be done, but here is Rippon handing off to Madison, and that's a tackle for loss by Carl Granderson, who has played well. As we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Wyoming Cowboys, coming off of the bye week and the narrow win over Wofford. Now the next 2 are on the road at Hawaii, at Fresno State.
Those both are tough games. They got the run and shoot coming in. Hawaii can move the ball. They can score points. Their quarterback, McDonald, flings it all over, and he can run the ball himself. I did their game against Army, their only loss.
Leads the country in passing yards, McDonald, for Hawaii. Rippon's still in there. That one's incomplete on the outside for Shakir. Throwing on second down.
Interesting decision there.
Yeah.
You know, you got 5 minutes left. You've been in 4-minute mode pretty much the whole second half. You'd think they'd just continue to run the ball and grind the clock.
Instead, it stopped. Brian Harson's shaking his head. Maybe he agrees.
He might be thinking that's exactly what we said.
Sometimes those conversations on headset are not fit for air.
You see Rippon there adjusted, bringing in extra protection.
They're getting after him on 3rd and 13. He needed that extra protection and left that one wide. And here comes a flag. And if it's against the Cowboys, I mean, you'd gotten your perfect scenario. 3 and out, 2 incomplete passes, stopping the clock.
I think they're going to call pass interference. The receiver fell down.
Holding, number 7, defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Holding because it was before the ball
pass,
in the air.
Exactly, yeah.
But the same result where you had him stopped.
That's not the penalty there. The penalty was a little bit earlier. But you're right. You had him stopped. You're going to get the ball back. You just hit a big play for a touchdown. We've said this a number of times tonight. You know, they've had opportunities to get off the field to make plays, and they haven't done it.
And Boise State is fully capable. I know Madison gets tackled for a loss there, and Scafon gets that TFL, but Boise State's capable of taking it 5 minutes down and running it out and never to giving it back to the Cowboys. Capable. I mean, 2 incompletions, clock stop, 5 minutes. It was perfect for Wyoming.
It was a perfect setup.
And then defensive hold.
And as a defender, you have to understand the situation. You got to understand it's 3rd and 13. You got to understand I can't have a penalty. If they make a play, so be it, they make a play, but I'm not going to give them the first down.
And that's how this started for Boise State. Their opening touchdown drive, aided by the penalty on Logan Wilson. Mahone flagged down.
It wasn't an egregious penalty, though. It was a very tight call.
Oh, and now we got another one. That's a umpire throws his hat, which means there's a second flag. So he's got 2 penalties on this play. Hull got in there and laid a lick, so that's going to be at the end of the play, and this is going to add to Wyoming's woes. Down by 20, and it's starting to melt down.
And then DeAndre Pierce went running off the field.
Craig Bowl is literally walking away. So he's going to find Hull.
I said DeAndre Pierce, Antonio Hull.
Yep.
Apologize.
This appears to be a big one on Hull.
Well, Hull just retaliated late and went in there very late after the play and kind of jacked a guy up.
This is no fun for Wyoming, no matter how it shakes out.
You got to have discipline. We talked about it at the beginning. With Logan Wilson standing, you get a big stop, you stand over him, and you get a penalty, you give him a first down. Even though it's late in the game, you want to see your players play with passion, physicality, and discipline.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding, number 77, offense. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 4, defense. The 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. This is number 4's first foul for unsportsmanlike conduct.
And let's look at the 2 penalties.
The first penalty is on 77, Molchon. See him grab and just kind of tackle right in the middle of your screen. Now number 4, you're watching right here, right there. And then when he touches the official, kind of throws an arm at him. And there's just no cause for that.
That's a big no-no. Adam Pillipil did his best to try and get Antonio Hull out of that situation.
That's just frustration building up throughout a game. And we talked in the open how important this game was for both teams.
First down handoff. Broncos don't have to snap it again till 3:30. Vaughn and Wilson there on the stop with Mahone. You want one more trivia question before the night's out or not? Or decline?
Shoot. All I can do is get it wrong, right?
Wyoming is one of 3 states that begin with 2 consonants. Care to guess the other 2?
Let me think about it during this play.
Okay. I believe you have lived in one and not lived in the other. Second down. Here's Mahone. Takes it across the 40-yard line, and now you'll be...
Florida's the easy one.
There you go.
Maybe Rhode Island?
Wow. Now,
I might have got some help from the
I was
truck.
going to say, I'd give you a double high five. You totally had me on that the truck helped you out with that one. That is a fun fact. On what has not been a very fun night for Wyoming, not a very fun 2018 campaign so far. Boise State, I mean, they had a lot to clean up in the off week after the loss at Stillwater and the 7 sacks and the 2 block punts, and hasn't gone all perfect tonight for Boise State. But when you're in a position, that's a loose football. They're back on top of it. Preciado gets on top, but when you're in this position at 2:43 and you're running out the clock and you dominated.
Fumble recovered by the offense. First down.
Dominated your conference opener. This is getting back on track for the Broncos.
And in a game where the last 2 years, the winner of this game has gone on to win this division. So it's an important game. Boise State should have come in here and won this game. They're the better football team. They have more weapons. They have the veteran quarterback. And they came in and they did what they were supposed to do. Their quarterback played excellent. Their offensive line was much better. Their special teams were much better.
Ripon still in there, handing off. That's Van Buren, the true freshman. You get it down to about 1:30 before you snap this on second down. Meanwhile, for Wyoming, I think number one, you have to be able to run the football and in this offense, and they just were not at all until the third quarter. I mean, basically the big run.
Yeah, they had one big run. That's all they did in the run game the entire game. That's not going to do it for this offense. It needs 3-4 yards a play when you're running the ball. For Boise State, it's going to be a different kind of battle next week. They're going to go up against San Diego State, that Rocky Long defense. A lot of movement on that defense, bringing pressure from everywhere. So the questions that they had in the Oklahoma State game will be answered next week one way or another. Is this offensive line ready to be a championship offensive line? Are they able to take care of those delayed blitzes and to pick up pressure and to communicate and to keep their quarterback free in that pocket? If he has time, he will pick you apart.
3rd and 4, a minute left in the game. We'll say this about the Boise State offensive line as Van Buren just goes down and bounds the 22. You have to snap it one more time. Craig Bull said yesterday, if we're not able to get pressure with Gaffon and Granderson on Brett Ripon, then it's going to be a long night for us. And sure enough, the Boise State, the maligned Boise State offensive line, when you gave up 7 sacks to the Oklahoma State Cowboys, they held up tonight against the Wyoming
for the
pass
most part.
rushers.
Gave up a couple of sacks. Ripon got hit a few times, but for the most part, they were better. I think they're going to be tested a lot more next week.
Broncos take a knee, and they will keep that streak alive. Never lost a Mountain West Conference opener coming off the bye week. Boise State back in the win category to go to 3-1. Wyoming, they had magic against the Broncos 2 years ago with the game-winning safety and their only win over Boise State, hoping for more magic tonight. But instead, Brian Harsin and the Broncos roll out of Laramie with a 34-14 win. And take your pick of the Broncos stars. Hightower, great. Richardson, great. Brett Ripon leads the way.
28 for 42, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's kind of an average day for him.
Right.
That's what you've come to expect.
That's how good an average day has become for Brett Ripon. Goes over 11,000 passing yards in his career. 3rd place all-time Mountain West Conference in the 20-year history of the league. And guides Boise State now 1-0 in the Mountain West, silencing War Memorial Stadium here in Laramie, Wyoming. And now Boise State on to San Diego State. And John is with Brett Ripon.
Brett Ripon getting some congratulations here. Brett, big game. Coming off of the loss against Oklahoma State, what was the game plan heading into this game, and how do you guys execute it so well?
Yeah, I think, you know, our focus throughout the week and last week really going into the bye was we got to be more physical up front. You know, I thought our O-line did a great job tonight. They protected me well. You know, towards the end of the game, we started getting some good runs going there, and, you know, to have that balance helps out a lot.
The last time Boise State came in here, Wyoming ended your bid for an undefeated season.
Yep.
How much of the revenge factor played into tonight?
I think a little bit, you know, definitely not having a great memory the last time that we were here, and, you know, we knew that and we understood that, but you know, we wanted to come in here and, you know, make a statement. It's first conference game, and that's a good win for us.
All right, so Jay Feely is our analyst in the booth. He thinks you are an NFL quarterback. Guess which NFL quarterback he compared you to?
I have no idea, to be honest.
All right, so I'll give you a hint. He played with him in college at Michigan. Tom Brady.
That's it.
What do you think about that comparison?
Well, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, so that's an interesting comparison. But, you know, definitely a guy I look up to and I try to model my game after for sure.
Impressive win. It was fun watching. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, we've heard what Brett thinks about that. I want to know what Tom thinks about that. We'll follow up later.
He's worried about winning a game right now. That's all. They got their own problems.
For Jay Feely, John Shriven, our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now on to Brent Stover, Houston Nutton, Kevin Carter, inside college football.